Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
6 o'clock, I'm Erik Bilstad. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Friday, December 6th. Our top story, falling just short, just by a field goal.
I'm Adam Roberts in for Vince Vitrano. Prison time for selling machine gun switches.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, looking pretty good out on the roads right now. Not seeing really any delays. Road conditions are okay. We're not seeing too many slippery spots, so we're in the green right now. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Some sun this morning, more clouds later on today, a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy, not as cold, a low of 26. Right now, it is a wind chill of 7 degrees this morning. 17 is the current temp at 6:01. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a late night heartbreaker in Detroit.
Ball game. And what a game.
And that was the call on Amazon Prime as the Detroit Lions go on to beat the Green Bay Packers 34-31. Lions head coach Dan Campbell went for a gutsy fourth down call right before that field goal. That sealed the deal. It wound down the clock. The win puts Detroit in the playoffs. The Packers still in position to make the postseason. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Obviously, we got a couple games left here, and we're trying to finish on the right note and win out these last couple games and handle business, taking one game at a time, and obviously we'll see what happens postseason time.
Now Love threw for 206 yards and a score, while running back Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns of his own. The Packers would even have the lead for a portion of the second half. The defense, though, just could not get off the field. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher.
It was disappointing in the fact that we had opportunities to get it done, and we didn't. And I think that's going to be the stinging part for this football team, because they know in their heart of hearts they had opportunities to win this, and they could not get it done.
Green Bay now 9-4. The Packers next taking on the Seahawks December 15th.
More than 7 years in prison for distributing and selling illegal machine gun conversion devices. FBI Special Agent Michael Hensley says the arrest of Demario Robinson, a 22-year-old from Milwaukee, was a collaborative effort.
Combating it really is a team effort with Milwaukee PD. As the chief said, we know hundreds of these are on the street. And this is something that ends up being part of every investigation, and it really does make the shootings and the individuals carrying these much more deadly, and significantly the local and federal law enforcement officers who are involved in investigations.
Hensley says the authorities are now working with community groups to prevent more distribution of these switches.
Health insurance company executives on edge across the country after the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson this week. And his murderer still on the run as of this hour. David McNichols is the former CEO of Aetna Health, telling News Nation he's surprised Thompson didn't have security while he was shot, because threats to executives in his industry are more common than people realize.
Those kinds of threats coming to senior leaders in the health plan organizations, that's been going on for a very long time.
Thompson died Wednesday morning on the sidewalk after being shot outside a New York City hotel. And again, the shooter still on the loose this morning.
3 mountain climbers, 2 Americans and a Canadian, who have been missing for 5 days on Aroki, New Zealand's tallest peak, are now believed to have died in a fall. Police Area Commander Inspector Vicky Walker.
We do not believe that the men have survived. We believe they have taken a fall. This is certainly not the news we wanted to share today.
Men's bodies have not been found, but footprints glimpsed in the snow and items believed to belong to them have been retrieved from the slopes. Americans Kurt Blair of Colorado and Carlos Romero of California were certified alpine guides.
Back here at home, a protest at a Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents meeting leads to multiple arrests and then releases at UW-Madison. A group of around 50 protesters disrupted the meeting Thursday morning. Then, after being warned by police to end it, they were arrested and then released, that being around 20 people of those 50 protesters. They represented multiple pro-Palestinian groups at both UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee.
Coming up, a zoo favorite passes away.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:04.
In 1955, Blaine's Farm and Fleet was founded as one of the original discount retailers, and we've supplied Midwest farms and families with quality goods at unbeatable prices ever since. So when it comes to keeping your farm well-stocked for winter, we have what you need for less. like select Neutrina livestock feeds. Buy 3, get 1 free. $70 off 10,000-watt Beyond Heat garage heaters. Rewards members save an extra $20. And select Stanley Forage products, $5 off. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
The original Botana's restaurant. More than 50 tequilas, 20 different margarita flavors, convenient parking, and the best service in town. Stop by to enjoy their weekday lunch specials. The original Botana's on 5th Street.
That's Botana's.
Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:06.
Another example of why NFL and football in general is a game of inches. Much more on Packers Lions coming up at 6:15.
A pharmaceutical company has plans to expand its southeast Wisconsin facility.
Eli Lilly and Company announced a $3 billion investment in Kenosha County. The company plans to produce an injectable drug to treat diabetes, obesity, and other medicines. The expansion calls for adding 750 jobs to the Village of Bristol facility. Lilly acquired the manufacturing facility from Nexus Pharmaceuticals earlier this year. They've been working with the state and Kenosha County on a tax incentive package for the development. Details on that have yet to be released. Construction is expected to start in 2025. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
New trade tariffs for the second Trump administration could mean changes in how companies operate. UW Superior's international trade consultant Chris Wodowitz tells WTMJ what companies could do differently with higher cost tariff prices.
If companies see this coming, they'll start negotiating and put themselves in a position where maybe these tariffs aren't going to be something that they have to pass through to the consumer.
Wodowitz says that with these new tariffs, foreign companies will do what they do that can reduce the product transit times to the U.S. by focusing more on local ports like ones in Superior and Duluth.
Some sad news at the Milwaukee County Zoo, where a popular longtime harbor seal has died. Ringo was born in the wild, lived for over 4 decades at the county zoo with a slowly progressing chronic eye disease for many years. Mm-hmm. Had to have his right eye removed last week, so this seems like this was a natural course here, dying of complications after that eye surgery. At 46 years old, Ringo was the second oldest living harbor zoo in any zoo or aquarium in America.
46. And is that right, Greg? You just saw this seal? You were just there seeing Ringo?
Yeah, last summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing it and being like, okay. It feels kind of nice to read this story. I know it's a little sad one, but it's like, all right.
He's in a better place now.
Absolutely.
Right. 6:09. They could identify the shooter as soon as today. That story next.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Al Leidinger, president of Matheson Manufacturing, needed better document imaging technology rather badly. Then came a James Imaging Systems sales representative to the rescue.
Tammy Oliver actually walked in the door one day and introduced herself and showed us the new features that the Toshiba had compared to our old copier. So we ended up signing up with them.
Now, after the sale, is your James Imaging Systems sales rep's customer service, media, meeting your expectations?
Yes, she still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better support, amazing people.
There's a true personal relationship, and we've been very happy with them.
Less than happy with your current document imaging vendor? Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
6:10 on this St. Nick's Day, Debbie. I woke up with and found some trail mix.
Nice.
Got some trail mix.
Trail mix?
Why? Is that not what you
That's
get to
healthy.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's not
Wait,
what I
do you
expect
do
for St.
stockings or shoes?
Stockings.
Okay. Because we do stockings in my house, but I grew up putting the shoes out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Apparently St. Nick isn't good enough in my house. According to Adam here.
Why are you putting those words in my mouth? Happy St. Nick's Day, everyone.
What were you expecting? Yeah,
It's got to be candy.
Chocolate.
Okay.
Oh, chocolate. Okay.
Traffic's brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants, providing memorable experiences for over 30 years. It's a perfect gift, the Bartolotta gift card. Just get yours at bartolottas.com.
But they have chocolate.
I bet they do.
All right. Well, the rest of the system is looking okay as far as delays are concerned. However, I took a quick peek at the road conditions. We've got pink, which means slippery stretches, right along the lakefront. So you want to be extra careful, especially along 43 through Ozaukee County, heading into Sheboygan, also along the lakefront on 794 as well. So just be extra careful. A little bit on the bypass heading towards Hales Corners and stuff like that. So that's going to be something you want to keep an eye on, especially on some of those bridges and overpasses. Those might be a little bit slippery. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Some sunshine this morning, then increasing clouds heading towards this afternoon with high temperatures in the lower 30s. Tonight, partly cloudy, not as cold as lows fall into the 20s. Saturday, we get back into the 40s, lower 40s for highs with partly to mostly cloudy skies and breezy winds. Sunday gets warmer, high temperatures in the upper 40s with partly cloudy skies. Small chance for rain showers Sunday night into Monday. Otherwise, Monday stays mild with highs in the upper 40s. Turning colder once again by Tuesday, mostly cloudy with high temperatures falling into the lower 30s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, just 17 degrees at 612.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad.
Vince is back next week. Erik, along with Adam Roberts in studio. Debbie Lazga on your roads. Greg Pancake Hill producing the big show. And thanks to WTMJ News Director Tiff Pua for working the newsroom for us this morning. Much more in the Packers here coming up in just 3 to 4 minutes. But first, Adam, we have news here. We could learn the shooter today. The man suspected of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson appears to be very close to being identified by police. The latest report out of New York is that it could happen at any moment now. We do know a lot about this guy. Came from Atlanta on a Greyhound bus all the way to New York. He's been in New York for about 10 days now. Arrived 10 days before the murder, so it's been nearly 2 weeks. And apparently this guy checked into a hostel on the Upper West Side. So here's where this gets really interesting. He used a fake driver's license from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It was a multi-person home. He stayed there in this hostel. He wore his mask most of the time. Now, you might think that's strange, but not really.
No, not in a case like this.
Yeah, especially if you're staying in a multi-person room. Like, this is not what everyone does, but when you are, you wouldn't shock me if someone's wearing a mask, especially nowadays with, of course, the concern for viruses and whatnot. But here's where I think they're going to get him from. It was a flirtatious request.
It was a brief flirtatious moment, but it could help catch an accused killer.
Yes. A woman who was working at this hostel in New York City told police that at one point she asked this man to lower his mask. She was flirting with him, she said. She said, "Hey, show me your smile." And that's when he pulled his mask down, showed her the pearly whites, and that photo has been captured in surveillance, and it's everywhere now.
Yep, I started seeing that, I think, late yesterday. There's a couple of different angles. There was one I saw where I couldn't see his face. I just saw like half of it, and then you see the full one, and it's like someone out there now has to be like, that's so-and-so.
Right, and that's absolutely what Robert Boyce, longtime NYPD chief, says.
It'll be on the front page of every newspaper. Probably, it's certainly on the East Coast, mostly throughout the nation. And that's important. You want to find out who this individual is. It's up in airports, it's up in bus terminals, it's up everywhere. And now you're just looking for that face.
So
someone knows him somewhere.
Someone knows him somewhere, and they may identify the suspected shooter of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, at some point today. Talk about that Packers game in 1 minute.
Seems like gift season kind of snuck up on us, but Fleet Farm's ready to help. For the griller on your list, the Pit Boss Sportsman 500 pellet grill is now $249.99. For the pizza lover, the Biaggia Pizza Oven is just $79.99. Plus, Milwaukee deal days are happening all week long. So save on the hottest Milwaukee tools, like the N12 2-tool combo kit for just $99. Stop in soon and wrap up your gift list at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices, guaranteed.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Elmbrook Family Dental. The time is now. You've heard so much about Invisalign, right? The healthy straight smile opportunity without any metal brackets. Lots of people are using them. Invisalign is really taken off with this, especially at Elmbrook Family Dental. They're offering $600 off Invisalign. Plus, Dr. Erik, he's worn them. He's used them so he can help a patient. That's why he did it. He wanted to make sure that he could live with them so then he can help you learn to live with Invisalign. They got 3 locations at Elmbrook Family Dental, 2 in Brookfield and a brand new one right there in Wauwatosa. ElmbrookFamilyDental.com. That's ElmbrookFamilyDental.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
What a game, but it just wasn't meant to be. So the Packers got off to a slow start Thursday night, but they did hit their groove in the second half. They were down 17-7. Actually, they had a couple of chances, took the lead a few times in that second half.
Yeah, things really ping-ponged back and forth, especially in the third and fourth quarter.
And they even had an unexpected chance to stop the Lions, but it was not meant to be. So here's what happened. 43 seconds left in the game. The game is tied 31-31. Lions have a 4th and inches from the Packers' 21. So you would think that the Lions would just kick the field goal and then give the ball back with what, like 40-some seconds left?
Maybe.
To Green Bay. But instead, Coach Dan Campbell of the Lions decided, no, I don't want to give the ball back to them with any time left. So they went for it.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he's making the hand.
So Montgomery, their running back, got 7 yards on the run. The Lions would then be able to milk the clock. A couple of plays later, they won the game on a field goal.
Ball game. And what a game.
Yes, time expired. That was the call on Amazon Prime. Coach LaFleur didn't really seem too surprised that they went for it, but when that 4th and inches came, he kind of thought maybe.
Not necessarily. Maybe the one at the end of the game a little bit. But, you know, that's how Dan has done it throughout the course of his career. And so it doesn't necessarily surprise me. But that gave us an opportunity there. We just, you know, hats off to them. Yeah. They executed and we didn't.
Yeah. We should also mention the officiating. Not the best.
Yeah,
but
a little suspect.
First half was a little rough there for Green Bay, and the Lions had the ball like the entire time. So the Lions now, they are in the playoffs. Excuse me, I get emotional thinking about the Lions making the playoffs again. Packers are now 3 games behind the Lions. Their opportunity to get in the postseason still pretty good, but you got to win these games now. Coming up next, they got a Sunday nighter against the Seahawks next week.
We got other stuff coming up tonight, though. Big night for Badger volleyball and Marquette as well. They're both moving on to the NCAA tournament. Badgers made quick work of Fairfield in the first round. About an hour and 17 minutes was all it took for the straight sets win. They got Georgia Tech up next. You'll hear that game on 94.5 ESPN tonight because we've got Bucks Celtics on WTMJ with coverage starting at 6. Chris Middleton, by the way, he's probable to play tonight. He could make his return to the court. Also back on the volleyball hardwood, Marquette mentioned they also advanced. They swept Florida Gulf Coast. They'll get Utah, the 4 seed, coming up tonight. And in college basketball, big victory for UW-Milwaukee. Running away from it late, they down Cleveland State 79-67.
We got that big game tomorrow at Fiserv Forum, Marquette and Wisconsin. 6:19.
With the defending champs still in the driver's seat.
In the event of a crash, driver always protects his side first.
It's important for them to check their surroundings because sometimes the deer in the rearview mirror are closer than they appear.
Jr. off to the races, off the backboard, and alley-oop pass to Giannis.
The Bucks are driving out to Boston. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage begins tonight at 6. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Hey, don't forget, another chance to test your trivia acumen as we raise money for Kepco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive and accept more toy donations, of course. So it's presented by Quizmaster. So the next one, Adam, you were at the one at Camp Bar here in Tosa. That was Mercure Fellow.
Yeah, we
right?
had a packed house. I know
Awesome.
Greg mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Awesome. So next week, we got Jeff Sherman, Sandy Max, Jessica Ty. They will host the competition at the North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha. So next week, Wednesday. So please stop by. And if you can't make it, you can always just text the word CAPGO to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to donate.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
During your career, investments piled up. From 401ks to brokerage accounts, it turned into quite a collection. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. We've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude. Others, a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews a portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. That's our story. Head to AnnexWealth.com.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
622. All right, Debbie Lazaga, a little slippery out there?
A little bit slippery, yeah, along the lakefront and then along the east-west bypass. So just be extra careful if you're driving around out there. We do have one crash on the off-ramp to Capitol Drive from 41 southbound. So just be extra careful heading through there as well. I'm not seeing really any delays at the moment, but well, that might change depending on if we get any more accidents or anything like that. But right at the moment, we're looking pretty good. If you do happen to see something we should know about, give us a call on the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Come to Hall Volkswagen for the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sun to start, but then more clouds as the day goes on today, a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy, not as cold, a low of 26. Saturday's mild. The high tomorrow is 43, and the high Sunday, 48. Monday, 49 degrees, so it's going to warm up here. Right now, just 17 at 6:23.
Wisconsin's Morning News, Erik Bilstad with me, Adam Roberts, here with you on this Friday morning. Well, Ascension is back in the news in southeast Wisconsin once again, as for the second time in as many years, the hospital organization facing some very public criticism over plans to eliminate medical services at one of their hospitals in the city of Milwaukee. You may recall about a month ago, the organization announced plans that they were going to be shutting down, I should say, what is their catheterization lab, which if you don't know about that, it's some place that you would go for cardiac services, for heart disease or something like that.
Yep.
So they are closing down the cath lab, we'll call for short, at Ascension St. Joseph's, which is on the city's north side, and they'll be shutting that down coming up here in just over a week, December 14th. Well, on Thursday, members of the Common Council and members of Milwaukee Fire Department raising some alarm with this well after the announcement was made. There was a Public Health and Safety Committee hearing where the CEO, kind of surprising, the CEO of Ascension, Wisconsin, was called upon to respond to this decision. And he was also joined by the president of the hospital.
The ability or the desire to offer all services at every hospital is just not practical.
But a lot of these Common Council members weren't really seeing it that way. And their biggest beef was that this was communicated via a press release, but was never communicated to with anyone before that, or at least anyone that needs these services. That was the point of Alderman Chambers.
You mentioned the meeting that you had with fire chiefs. Yes. Did you have that meeting prior to making the decision to close?
No, we did not.
And so the general consensus here is that, was this going to ever be communicated publicly before you put this out? Did you hide behind a press release for another one of these things? Because Ascension is no stranger to cutting services. They've done it a number of times over the last couple of years.
Which is unfortunate. It's one of those things where the aldermen and women are in an odd spot because there's only so much they can do about this. But obviously they want to fight on behalf of their constituents. But really, there's nothing that this guy owes them.
And to that point, exactly. So that's the other side of the coin. We think of hospitals as places where you go to, if you're sick, you go to get better. It's a service provided to the community, a health service. But at the end of the day, these Ascensions, whether it's Aurora or Freighter or whatever, it's a business. And this is a CEO. This is not someone who's a public health officer or someone in the position to be advocating necessarily for the health of the community. This is a businessman making a business decision, and he made that point.
I ask that you trust in our judgment and expertise and collaborations with our medical staffs are the things that we do.
That's the CEO, Daniel Jackson, transferred from Detroit a couple of years ago. Ascension going through a lot of changes at the top over the last couple of years.
Yeah, this is interesting only because, I shouldn't say only because, but it's interesting because we're at a moment now, and I mean, look at it. We had that assassination in New York with this CEO of United Healthcare being shot. Like, there's clearly a frustration right now with healthcare systems and how things are operating. But you're right, it is a business, and there's only so much that you can do on that end of things as far as these hospitals go. Again, not defending this situation by any means, but there's if you're not making money on something, you're going to stop doing it. Everything is about the almighty dollar.
And I think the timing is tough, too, because Ascension, when they got rid of the delivery and birthing services at St. Francis on the south side a couple of years ago, that was also December. You've got the holiday season coming up. It's just the timing feels clunky, and I think that was something the alders hit on as well.
I get whatever corporate, business, healthcare decision you make. For me, as an alderman, it doesn't make sense.
You have to reach out to the people who you serve. The money you're saving, that money came from them.
So again, Ascension St. Joseph's closing their cath lab. That's coming up on December 14th.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update this morning. Stock futures at the moment, everything is in the red. There's a jobs report going to come out later today, but everything 2 hours from the bell in the red at the moment. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. It's 627.
Do you love the simplicity and enduring quality of Scandinavian design? Then the Fjords factory-sponsored sale at Ken Michaels Furniture is for you. Inspired by tradition and built to last, Fjords brings the best of modern Norwegian design to your home. Save 20% on these ergonomic recliners and sofas engineered with comfort in mind. Available with manual or power options. Stop in today and save 20% on Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown factory showroom. Get a better night's sleep and save money on a Milwaukee mattress. For over 70 years, our family has been making mattresses and selling them direct to your family. By cutting out distribution costs, you can save up to 50% and get a better night's sleep on a premium mattress. Go green with natural latex. Reduce tossing and turning at night by reducing pressure points on your body. This is one of our most popular mattresses. Stop in today and take a test rest at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown.
It's a super affordable family fish fry Friday at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Do not pay $16 or more for your fish fry. The Mine Chef fish fry is just $7.99, and it's all you can eat. You deserve it. After a long week, relax with a cold beverage and a great fish fry. Kids menu starts at $3.99, and they can safely play in that huge game room quietly tucked aside from the dining area while you finish up, maybe have an after-dinner drink. I repeat, Hard to believe the Mine Chef's all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford. And near the EAA in Oshkosh, tons of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve now for your Friday, $7.99 all-you-can-eat fish fry, serving from 11 a.m. Get there early. I love that fish fry. Your Saturday steak dinner is under $20. Sunday brunch under $15. What a value. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
6:30, I'm Erik Bilstad. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Friday, December 6th. Our top story, a heartbreaker in the Motor City.
I'm Adam Roberts. 8 figures in renovations for a Milwaukee hotel.
I'm Debbie Loziga, southbound on 41. We've got a crash on the off-ramp to Capitol Drive, so heads up with that. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good volume-wise, and speeds are pretty much typical. Just watch out for some of the slippery conditions, especially along the lakefront on any of the freeways there. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Some sun this morning, otherwise increasing clouds throughout the day. The high today is 30 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy and not as cold, a low of 26. The weekend, holy cow, mild tomorrow. Saturday's high is 43. Sunday's high is 48 degrees. Right now, just 17 at WTMJ.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. An intense manhunt for the killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. There's now clear surveillance video of his face from the hostel where he stayed. No surprise, says ABC News contributor Brad Garrett.
Going around Manhattan that has a camera, it seems like every block and sometimes multiple cameras. Even inside the hostel, even inside the Starbucks. I mean, you'd have to be naive to think that your photograph isn't captured every time you step into a place.
A new jobs report this morning from the Labor Department is expected to show a big hiring rebound in November. The expectation that the U.S. added 208,000 new jobs last month. 2 kindergartners continue fighting for their lives after Wednesday's shooting at a religious school in Northern California. Police say the 56-year-old suspect had a long criminal record and a history of mental illness. Subaru has dethroned Toyota as the most reliable car brand, according to Consumer Reports. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 6:31.
That one hurts.
Ball game. And what a game.
Packers fall to the Lions in Detroit late Thursday. That was the call on Amazon Prime as the Lions go on to beat the Packers 34-31, a last-second field goal, thanks in part to a gutsy 4th down call before that field goal by Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions. The win puts Detroit in the playoffs. The Packers still in position, though, to make the postseason. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Obviously, we got a couple games left here, and we're trying to finish on the right note and win out these last couple games and handle business, take it one game at a time, and obviously we'll see what happens postseason time.
Yeah, Love throwing for 206 yards and a score, though the Packers, while they had the lead for a part of the second half, their defense just could not get off the field when it mattered. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher.
In the fact that we had opportunities to get it done, and we didn't. And I think that's going to be the stinging part for this football team because they know in their heart of hearts they had opportunities to win this, and they could not get it done.
And we'll recap last night's action with ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel coming up in about 20 minutes.
Keeping guns and switches off the streets, Demario Robinson of Milwaukee, he's heading to federal prison. He's accused of selling over 200 of those machine gun conversion devices. Now convicted, Special Agent Michael Hensley at the FBI.
A switch is a small piece of equipment that can turn a regular semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic machine gun. These switches allow firearms to shoot multiple rounds in seconds by simply holding down the trigger.
Robinson going to spend more than 7 years in prison.
Walking pneumonia on the rise during the winter months in southeast Wisconsin, and Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston tells WTMJ right now he's been seeing a rise in cases, especially with children.
Ages 2 to 4. The thought is that when you look at this age group during the pandemic, people were more inside, they were being cautious. You didn't get this sort of exposure, this sort of immunity out there as you would during normal times.
Dr. Weston says people with walking pneumonia should do their best to actively avoid older people who oftentimes have weakened immune systems.
The Hilton Milwaukee is set for more than $40 million in renovations during the next few months. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting that Marcus Corporation, which owns the Hilton Milwaukee, will renovate and upgrade 554 guest rooms, including its ballrooms and some meeting rooms there. Now, earlier this year, Marcus Corp finished a $20 million renovation for the Pfister. As part of these changes to the Hilton, 175 guest rooms located in the West Tower of the building will be shut down. Renovations have been announced to be completed likely by next summer.
Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:34.
Traffic sponsored by Senix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
Save 20% on a different item from Sendik's Home Department each day this week. Clothing, gifts, home decor at 20% off. Visit Sendix.com for details.
Coming up, the biggest impact of the year.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
In 1955, Blaine's Farm and Fleet was founded as one of the original discount retailers, and we've supplied Midwest farms and families with quality goods at unbeatable prices ever since. So when it comes to keeping your farm well-stocked for winter, we have what you need for less. Like 50-pound bags of AgriMaster 16% layer poultry feed, $11.99, 15% off select Prowler rodent control, and assorted 100-foot lengths of Baron paracord, buy one, get two free. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:36.
A game of inches. Packers fall to the Lions. We'll break it down at 6:45, and we'll be joined by ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel at 6:50. Okay, so Adam is here. Vince is off today, but we've been discussing this. It's going to happen next week. The first ever Wisconsin's Morning News Standout of the Year Awards will come on. Yeah, we're going to honor some folks who have left an impact on the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and there's a lot of names that we could choose from. It certainly has been a crazy year. I'm already prepping our year in review for the end of the year on WTMJ as well. Ooh, another tease there. But yeah, lots of different names that you could pick from in that batch.
Yeah, so Vince has pushed us to call it the Sodies. So I guess we're going with the Sodies now. He also, I think you and Greg, is that right? Vince and Greg, you guys put together a little promo for this? Okay, we'll give it a shot here.
The highly anticipated, most coveted, best award that can be given out by a morning radio show. This is the Wisconsin's Morning News Standouts of the Year. We call it the SOTIs. A year's worth of accomplishments. All comes down to this. Who deserves the Wisconsin's Morning News Standout of the Year award? Find out as we drop the nominations. And finally, the winner before the new year.
Okay.
In a world.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so so it'll be next week, you know, and there's multiple people that we'll honor, and we'll do it when Vince is back next week here on Wisconsin's Morning News. So the Sodies right here on WTMJ.
Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:38. Hey, coming up, she may need to soon talk to a lawyer. That's coming up next.
The Soties.
So if you're selling a $2 million home and you found yourself what you thought was a pretty good deal on your real estate commission, at say about 3.6%, you'd pay $72,000 in real estate commission. Not bad, right? while your Benefit Realty agent will charge you no more than $19,000 no matter what size property you're selling for the listing side of your sale. And it all comes with the full service you'd expect from an experienced real estate brokerage. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com. We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. Now, I say this because that's a pretty big number, but I also bring it up because it's always been cool for us to save our clients money. It's not about being the top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission with a cap on our commission for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Here's to carving out a little slope time together in Wisconsin. To short lift lines that make room for more laugh lines. Here's to gearing up and making lasting memories.
Race to the bottom.
And to the perfect end, to the perfect day.
Cheers.
Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your snow day at travelwisconsin.com.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
Debbie Lozga at 640 checking the roads for us. Brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants, providing memorable experiences. Get the perfect holiday gift this season. It's a Bartolotta gift card, Debbie. You can purchase yours at bartolottas.com.
Yep. We've got actually a crash on the ramp from 41 southbound to Capitol Drive, so watch out for that. I'm not seeing really any delays at the moment out on the roads. However, we do have some slippery stretches, especially along the lakefront, like on 794, for example, a little bit on 94 as you're heading past the airport as well. So just be extra careful as you're driving around. But for the most part, we're looking actually pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. The combination of wind and cold is making it feel below zero this morning for the wind chill. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 20s with partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy and chilly. Low temperatures in the teens, feels like it's in the single digits. Friday, we'll look for partly to mostly cloudy skies. High temperatures near 30. Good news for the weekend as we warm up. Partly cloudy on Saturday with high temperatures in the lower 40s. Sunday, upper 40s to close to 50 with some breezy winds. We'll look at the chance for a couple rain showers Sunday night into Monday with high temperatures Monday afternoon in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore. The Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
17 degrees at 642. Wisconsin's morning news. Much more on the Packers and Lions coming up in just 3 to 4 minutes.
To the world of cryptocurrency, Eric. It seems like for every good news story you have about crypto, and it almost seems like a dirty topic to bring up because every time you have, there's this great news thing about it, there's 2 or 3 bad news stories about crypto that also will follow. You may have heard we had in the news yesterday, for the first time ever, Bitcoin hit the $100,000 valuation mark. So there still is a lot of interest in cryptocurrency. And it turns out there's enough interest that so-called meme coins, you may remember Dogecoin from a couple of years ago. Well, that's back in the news once again today. And the name attached to this meme coin might be familiar to some of you. I'm talking about a woman named Haley Welch. And if the name doesn't ring a bell, you more than likely know her as the Hawktua girl.
Okay.
Went ultra viral earlier this year, is now perfectly in the sunlight to start a meme coin. She hosts the Talktua podcast. It was at one point the 5th largest in the entire country, and so the time seemed ripe for Haley to get in on the crypto action.
Okay, y'all, drop your Solana wallets. I'm giving out some meme coins for free. Coming to you December 4th.
All right, yeah, I'll sign up for that right away. Welsh teasing the coin's arrival there back in November, and at least at launch, the coin hit a capitalization on the market of around $500 million.
My Hawk meme coin is live!
But shortly after that video was posted on X yesterday, the coin plummeted 95% to around 25 million in capitalization yesterday afternoon. Currently checking the price of the coin, you can get a Hawk coin, as it's referred to, for I think that's 10,000th of a cent.
Come on.
Is its evaluation.
Well, what happened?
Well, what happened is, and what many are accusing Welsh and her team of now, is what is orchestrated in the industry as a pump and dump, essentially inflating the price of the coin by spreading misinformation to attract investors. And then once the price is up, immediately what they call is pulling a rug pull, causing the price to drop, and then investors are left with losses. Now, this is all allegations that have been laid against Welsh and her team. She was on Twitter and did a Twitter Spaces to clear the air, if you will, last night. And did not go great. YouTuber CoffeeZilla, known for following these crypto scams, he hopped on the mic.
This is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the are you on?
You guys generated over $1 million in fees while y'all's fans got rug pulled.
You know, CoffeeZilla also accusing Welsh of insider trading. She denies all allegations of that. Uncertain looking forward if there's any going to be legal ramifications on this, but there are already law firms, Berwick Law among them, who specializes in this kind of thing, telling people on social media, hey, if you got burned by Hotcoin, we will take you on. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there will be any legal consequences.
Got to be smart, especially the next couple of years, because this is going to take off again. Got to pay attention to this before you start buying there. 6:45. Thank you, Adam. We have the Packers and how close they were coming up next.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Tri-County Contracting. If you're looking for a price of a new roof, this happens all the time, right? You go through the projects, you're wondering what you're going to budget for this year or next year, and you're like, well, I don't even know how much something like that costs. Super easy to find out how much your property roof would actually cost just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. They got an instant roof quote button. You click on it, you put in your address, type in your email, and they'll send it to you instantaneously. Here's how pretty much how much it's going to cost. And there might be a couple of changes there depending, but that's when you bring someone in and they take a look at it. But for the most part, it's almost right on the money. Instant roof quote from Tri-County Contracting. Go to the website right now. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
So the first half wasn't good. They were down 17-7, the Packers were to the Lions, but they would scratch and crawl back into the game. Josh Jacobs just rumbling, ended up with 3 touchdowns. Kraft had a nice touchdown catch as well. The Packers even leading at a couple of times in the second half. But the Lions just kept on going for it, and it worked for them, including at the very end of the game. They had the ball, 43 seconds left, and they went for it instead of kicking the field goal because Dan Campbell, the head coach, just wanted to burn the clock, didn't want to give the ball back. So they were able to milk the clock all the way till there was no time left.
Ball game. And what a game.
And that was the final call on Amazon Prime. Al Michaels there. Coach LaFleur was talking about it after the game. He says, not really surprised that Campbell was going for it so many times, but at the end?
Not necessarily. Maybe the one at the end of the game a little bit. But, you know, that's how Dan has done it throughout the course of his career.
Right. That's just what he's done. I would take it as a compliment, actually. They didn't want to give the ball back. Might as well just go for it now. The game was tied anyway. We've seen the Packers. We've seen LaFleur and Love work with a little bit of time left. That's what they were doing there.
And I think it was Herb Street on the call who said, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. Because they did get burned going for it on fourth down. That turned into a Packers TD.
You're right.
And the whole talk of that point was, wow, Dan Campbell maybe messed up. Maybe he's off. Maybe he's fallen off, and then comes back and says, nope, I am still Dan Campbell.
Yep. Detroit ends up clinching a spot in the playoffs, and even though they lost, Green Bay still looks really good to get in as the 5th or the 6th seed. So here's what they got next. They got the Seahawks on Sunday night. That could be a tough game. That's in Seattle. That's a week from Sunday. They got then the Saints coming to town, followed by Vikings and Bears. So kind of need to win out. You're in a good space right now. You'll likely get in either way, but kind of need to win out if you want to feel good about where you're going.
Bucks looking to bounce back. Meanwhile, tonight, they lost to the Hawks earlier this week. They got the Celtics in Boston tonight. We'll have that one for you right here on WTMJ starting at 6. Chris Middleton, by the way, probable to play, so he could make his return to the team tonight. On the hardwood for volleyball, Badgers and Marquette, they're both moving on in the NCAA tournament. Wisconsin taking down Fairfield in the first round. Marquette taking care of Florida Gulf Coast. Badger volleyball is next up against Georgia Tech. You can hear that game tonight on 94.5 ESPN.
Fairfield didn't even know what planet they were on. They show up and they're, whoa, the crowd, the noise, the energy, that's a tough place to play.
Hey, Fairfield, what happened? Oh, well, we're just happy to be here. Just what a magical moment. And by the way, UW Milwaukee men's basketball also taking care of business. They beat Cleveland State 79-67.
All right, what went well, what went wrong in that Packers game? We'll check in with Gabe Neitzel from ESPN next.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard
yet.
scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point. Lopez in transition squeezes up a 3, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with, drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
Looking for a career path with great salary plus healthcare and retirement benefits? The Milwaukee County Transit System is hiring. Join us on Wednesday, December 11th from 2 to 6 p.m. in our administration office on 17th Street for a career fair. Attend the fair to learn more about our open positions for bus operators, safety officers, mechanics, fuelers, and detailers. Staff will be on hand to answer questions about the positions and assist in filling out applications. Take your career to the next level at MCTS. Visit ridemcts.com/careers.
Vince Vitrano
Are the
for
changing
Inspired.
seasons making you crave a getaway? Let Fox World Travel help you plan for the perfect all-inclusive resort or cruise vacation to escape the cold. We've got special deals with Apple Vacations, Delta Vacations, Royal Caribbean, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and more. Whether you prefer to book online or with a travel advisor, Fox World Travel has your back. Visit foxworldtravel.com to book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today. That's 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets Milwaukee, and another local family so happy with the calm and order my friends Katie and Dan have brought to their home. These folks have done 6 projects with Inspired Closets Milwaukee, most recently the garage. Margot writes, "It is so nice to come home to an organized, clean space. We are no longer tripping over bikes, soccer balls, and shovels." That resonates, I bet, with a lot of folks listening right now. Everybody we have worked with has been friendly, knowledgeable, and extremely professional. A lot of folks on the internet do closets, but you're not going to see a review like that. This is the local team that listens to your needs and custom designs solutions with you. You can see it all for yourself at the showroom near Gerke's Corners in Waukesha. Cut the clutter, calm the chaos, bring order and function to your home. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
6:52. Hi, Debbie Lazaga.
Hello. We've got an accident, another accident. The other one on 41 at, I believe it was at Capitol Drive. That actually has been cleared out of the way. But now we've got a new one. This one's on the ramp from 76th Street to 894 eastbound. So 894 eastbound's on ramp. Right at the end of that ramp, we've got a crash. Looks like there's a semi involved with it. Lots of emergency crews. So everybody's kind of shifting over to the left to try and get past that. Watch for the delays to start kicking in. We do have a few more delays through the stadium interchange on westbound 94. Volume's definitely picking up, so watch yourself through there. But for the most part, we're looking pretty good. Help out your fellow commuters, though. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Come to Hall Volkswagen for the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast, sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. We'll see some sun this morning. Clouds will increase, then later a high of 30. Not as cold tonight, down to 26. More clouds, breezy for your Saturday, 43. Warming up close to 50 both Sunday and Monday. Rain chances late, then Tuesday clouds and 34. Right now, 15 in Milwaukee at 6:53.
Should seal it. They'll run the clock down, pick the field goal. What a call!
That's the call on Amazon Prime as the gutsy Lions go for it on 4th and inches to milk the clock before kicking a tie-breaking field goal to win it. Gabe Neitzel joins us from ESPN Milwaukee. How are you feeling this morning?
I don't feel as good as I thought, because even going into this game, I thought if we got this type of a game where the Packers lost late and they were in the game and had leads, in the second half.
As they did. Yeah.
I just feel like I thought I was going to be flying high. Yep, they can play with anybody. They can beat anybody. But because it's similar mistakes that they have made all season long. They were terrible on third down last night, 1 for 5 on third down. Penalty in the red zone, and then the defense just kind of letting them down. It makes me wonder, and we're going to talk about this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Okay, they can certainly play with anyone. Can they beat anyone? Because that's the next thing. Because these are things that have plagued them all season long. So how am I supposed to have faith that, okay, penalties have been an issue, third downs have been an issue. Yep. Suddenly we're going to fix these in the last 4 weeks when we haven't fixed them in the first 15 or the first 13, excuse me.
Because this is one of those cases of, the big play was that 4th down gutsy call for Campbell, but that was set up by a big gain once again when it looked like the Lions were well out of range for a game winner.
Yeah, I mean, Goff completed 13 in a row in the fourth quarter, and that Jair Alexander being out certainly hurt the Packers.
Right.
I mean, their cornerback play outside of Jair just has not been good enough this year. It's certainly something they're going to have to address in the offseason. That's another thing. When you go up against the top two teams, if you want to sprinkle in the Minnesota Vikings in there, the Packers they have the regular season game against them, wouldn't probably have to play them in the playoffs, but all those teams have really good wide receiver tandems. It's not just one guy you got to worry about. So when you have Jair out and Keyshawn Nixon's got to play a lot more and Eric Stokes and Valentine are rotating, they just haven't been good enough. And that was the case again last night. Like if you've got to play them, you've got to play them or the Eagles in the postseason, they're going to try to take advantage of your cornerback play.
That's what I was going to ask you. Gabe Neitzel joins us from ESPN Milwaukee. Okay, so I'd say we all firmly believe the Packers still getting into the playoffs. I mean, it looks very good.
Yeah,
it's like 95% analytical certainty.
They're getting into the playoffs.
So who do you want to play the Lions again? Do you want them a third time?
Yeah, and look, if you're a wild card, I mean, the Lions are, I guess still things have to play out, and they're incredibly beat up on defense, and they lost another guy, a couple guys last night early in the game. Somebody had a concussion and wasn't able to return. Yeah. And they're going to get a little bit healthier, I think, on defense as things go along. But if Detroit ends up as the number 1 seed, that's going to be the second game of the playoffs for the Packers because they'd be the number 1 seed. And usually when you're a wild card, you win a game, you're going on the road to that number 1 seed, just like they did last year with San Francisco. So, if they win that first playoff game, they're going to be playing Detroit again. It's going to be on the docket. I want to see it, but man, they've just, the Lions have had under Dan Campbell, much like Matt LaFleur has owned the Chicago Bears, yep. Dan Campbell's owned the Packers.
Hey, by the way, Gabe, before we let you go, did you see that interaction with LaFleur and the flag fan at the start of the game? What the heck was going on there?
I mean, LaFleur talked about it after the game, saying that the fan was making a throat-slashing gesture towards the players. Look, guys, if you're going to be on an NFL field, don't be the fake tough guy. Because I promise you. Just hold the flag. Be patriotic. Hold the flag. Don't be the fake tough guy. Because I promise you, every last one of those guys, including the punter and kicker, can kick your ass. All right? I promise you. Don't be the fake tough guy, because that's all you are, is fake tough. You're not actually tough. They all could destroy you in the matter of moments.
That was my favorite part, though. LaFleur was clearly annoyed by it, but also kind of surprised. Like, what do you do?
Right, that's what he says. How does security not step in here? What is this guy doing?
Can someone stop this, Gabe Neitzel? Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, boy.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. This portion of the show is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Retire well with Kowal.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Drug maker Eli Lilly and Company plans to invest $3 billion and add 750 employees in Kenosha County as the company expands a plant it acquired in April. The Indianapolis-based company expects to start the expansion project in 2025. GE Healthcare Technologies, which has major operations in Waukesha and Milwaukee counties, aims to grow development of artificial intelligence devices. Its goal is to optimize patient care and increase operational efficiencies at hospitals and clinics. Marcus Hotels and Resorts looks ahead to a more than $40 million renovation of its Hilton-branded hotel in downtown Milwaukee. The work will remove 175 of the hotel's 729 rooms. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
A retirement plan without execution is just words and numbers on paper, and we all know it's actions that speak louder than words. Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal, founder of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 36 years, we've been helping our clients make their dream retirement a reality with our streamlined retirement process, and we'd like to help you too. Our execution, knowledge, and commitment is the difference between just words and numbers on paper. So don't go it alone. We are here to help you achieve a fun retirement. If you're close to or already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in investable assets, now is the time to meet with our fiduciary advisors. Give our office a call today at 262-522-4040. That's 262-522-4040. Or visit thekowalway.com to schedule your no-obligation retirement review.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 24-pack Essential Everyday Purified Water, 2 for $6. 9.6 to 16.1 ounce selective varieties, Kellogg's cereal, 2 for $7. 11 to 12 ounce or 10 count selective varieties, Starbucks coffee, $7.99. Gallon selective varieties, Prairie Farms white or chocolate milk, $3.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
That's too over the top. Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Boston is about to see green in fall. Well, more than usual, that is.
Catch and shoot three from A.J. Green. How did he hit that one? The Dairy Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
The Bucks and Celtics face off with coverage beginning tonight at 6 on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
7:01, I'm Erik Bilstad. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Friday, December 6th. Our top story, can't stop the Lions and fall just short.
I'm Adam Roberts. Pro-Palestinian protests back at UW.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, eastbound 894 right at 76th Street. Right lane is closed now because of the crash, so watch out for the delays to start building up. Starting to see those delays kicking in just about at 92nd Street, so just give yourself time. The rest of the system looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Some sun this morning, then more clouds roll in, a high of 30. Tonight, not as cold, low of 26. It's going to be mild. It's going to really warm up into the 40s through the weekend. Right now, just 17 degrees at 7:02. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a late night heartbreaker in Motown.
Ball game. And what a game.
The call on Amazon Prime as the Lions go on to beat the Packers 34-31 with that last second field goal. Head coach Dan Campbell for Detroit went for a gutsy fourth down before that field goal. That sealed the deal, and that win puts the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. And the Packers, well, they're still in position to make the postseason. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Obviously, we got a couple games left here, and we're trying to finish on the right note and win out these last couple games and handle business, take it one game at a time, and obviously we'll see what happens postseason time.
Up next, a Sunday night matchup with the Seahawks on December 15th. Much more on the Packers game throughout the morning right here in Wisconsin's Morning News.
Day 3 now in the manhunt for a person who shot and killed a healthcare executive on the street in New York. Police there tight-lipped about their investigation, even after new photos were released identifying the person of interest in the case. Lieutenant Commander John Cardendale says just because police aren't talking doesn't mean they're not working.
I think there's a lot more that they have right now. And I think right now they have the photos out there that are going to help identify him. But they also have some other evidence that they're going to hold close to the vest right now until they start furthering the case down the line. But they'll stay on this 24/7 with all the manpower that they need to get this case solved.
And the shooter remaining at large this morning.
Keeping guns and the switches off the streets of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee police and federal investigators announced that 22-year-old Demario Robinson was sentenced to 88 months in federal prison. Robinson was responsible for selling and distributing hundreds of machine gun conversion devices or switches that turn semi-automatic guns into fully automated weapons. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman said he appreciated the help from Special Agent Michael Hensel and the FBI Milwaukee team. Both Chief Norman and Special Agent Hensel say that more needs to be done to ensure that switches stay out of the hands of the public. In Milwaukee, Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
Pleading not guilty for burning down his own mansion. Robert Stanton of Burlington arraigned Thursday in Racine, charged with negligent handling of burning materials and bail jumping, coming after an early morning fire destroying the Manhunt mansion in Burlington last month. Now, Stanton's owned the property since July, was then arrested hours after the blaze began, is now posted $15,000 bail due back in court in February. Cause of that fire still under investigation.
More protesters arrested at UW-Madison.
A group of about 50 people disrupted a Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents meeting around 8:30 Thursday morning for about 15 minutes. After campus police warned the group to end the protest, they arrested and then released 19 people. It's not yet clear how many of those arrested were students. The protesters represented multiple pro-Palestinian groups at both UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Coming up, an East Side restaurant closes, and another one could soon open.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
America's Best installer of America's Best replacement windows does not have the word windows in their name. Their name is Siding. Siding Unlimited. Hey, the Sons took Dad's siding business and ran with it. Siding Unlimited, the family-owned Wisconsin company, keeps climbing to the top of Pella Windows of Pella, Iowa's awards. Siding Unlimited, one of only 5 Pella Premier installers in the whole country. But better than that, the top. For 4 of the past 5 years, Pella has honored Siding Unlimited as their National Certified Contractor of the Year. You want windows? Pay Wisconsin prices with this great local company, delivering National Championship award-winning service. Great craftsmanship, clean up behind, and leave the job better than before and better than expected. You know, the company with Wisconsin family values. Pride in integrity, pride in people, pride in Wisconsin. SidingUnlimited.com.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
The original Botana's restaurant. More than 50 tequilas, 20 different margarita flavors, convenient parking, and the best service in town. Stop by to enjoy their weekday lunch specials. The original Botana's on 5th Street.
Mi casa es su casa. That's Botana's.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ news time approaching 7:08.
The Packers may get another shot at Detroit. That story coming up at 7:15.
The world record for tallest glass tree right here in Wisconsin.
Over the next 2 weekends at Yerkes Observatory in Williams Bay, a spinning steel structure becomes recycled art.
It takes about 6 days to get 3,000 pounds of glass on that tree. And then on the final day, we top it with a 5.5-foot hand-blown glass star.
Rob Elliott tells WTMJ the glass tree stems from a recycling collection effort throughout Walworth County. It's become an annual event with a winter market, music, food, and
Community members can actively add hot glass to the tree themselves as well.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
New restaurant taking over the Ardent space on the east side. James Beard-nominated chef Mary Kastman is going to open up an Eastern Mediterranean restaurant. Purslane comes less than a week after Ardent announced plans to shut down at the end of the year. Kastman is the former executive chef at Driftless Cafe in Viroqua. Now, Purslane will focus on small plates and shareable large dishes.
And speaking of food, with a bit of creativity and a mindful approach, you this holiday season can enjoy a festive meal without crushing calories or compromising those health goals.
Dr. Ben Weston of the Medical College of Wisconsin says limit the sodas and overprocessed sweet treats, but don't fret over all fats.
Avocados and peanut butter, healthy fats that are good for your diet.
Weston says limit the trans fats and the saturated fats, but ultimately your diet depends on your goals.
If you are somebody who is trying to lose weight, calorie-dense food, fat-dense food is not going to be a good thing. But if you are somebody who is just trying to maintain a healthy diet, there are certainly healthy fats out there.
Can't we just WTMJ News?
Can't we just do that in January? Can't we just enjoy a couple of weeks? I mean, the Christmas season's short this year anyway. Come on.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to pack everything into the next 3 weeks.
Come on, enjoy the eggnog. It's 7:10.
Here's to carving out a little slope time together in Wisconsin. To short lift lines that make room for more laugh lines. Here's to gearing up and making lasting memories.
Race to the bottom.
And to the perfect end, to the perfect day. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your snow day at travelwisconsin.com.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
Save 20% on a different item from Sendik's Home Department each day this week. Clothing, gifts, home decor at 20% off. Visit Sendix.com for details.
7-Eleven, good Friday morning to you, Debbie Lazago.
Good Friday morning.
By
Well,
the way, I should mention traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
yay, Sendix. All right, eastbound 894, right at the ramp from 76th Street. We got the right lane closed with a crash. Looks like there is a semi involved with this. So emergency crews are on the scene and everybody's squishing over to the left. So just be extra careful if you're heading through there right now. I'm seeing delays back into the Hale interchange. Southbound 43 is pretty quiet at the moment. No major issues in either northbound or southbound. Same thing for the 41 area. So far, we are looking pretty good as far as lightish volume. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Wind chills are starting off below zero this morning. We'll see high temperatures in the upper 20s this afternoon with partly cloudy skies and those gusty winds slowly dying down this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy and chilly, low temperatures in the teens, feeling like the single digits. Friday, partly to mostly cloudy skies, high temperatures near 30. Saturday, we warm things up, partly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the lower 40s. By Sunday, mostly cloudy and breezy, but a high temperature close to 50. We'll get the chance for a couple rain showers Sunday night into Monday with high temperatures Monday in the mid to upper 40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
17 degrees at 7:12.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad.
Vince is back next week. Adam Roberts is here. Debbie Lazaga is here. Thanks to Greg Pancake Hill, who always does everything and more on a day Vince is gone.
Emphasis on and more.
And more. And WTMJ News Director Tiff Pua is also here today, thanks to Tiff, on this St. Nick's Day. I was made fun of for getting... I got some trail mix from St. Nick's.
Like, you're supposed to get candy on St. Nick and candy cans. Or am I the only kid that got sweet treats?
So you were the
St.
kid
Nick?
that got all the best stuff from St. Nick. And then you come
to be fair, St. Nick also dropped a couple toothbrushes and some toothpaste in it as well.
Okay.
Is that worse than trail mix, a toothbrush?
Yeah, I was going to say, Crest? Really? Big weekend ahead overseas. I remember this when this happened, the large fire at Notre Dame. It was just the images were stunning and jarring. Well, that symbol of the French nation will reopen tomorrow.
I'm Vicki Barker in Paris. 5 years ago, I stood here watching Notre Dame Cathedral burn. Now, this emblem of the French nation is once again reopening to worshippers and tourists. It only took the work of close to 1,000 laborers, both on site and in artisanal workshops across France. And it's finishing on time and under budget. Vicki Barker, CBS News at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris.
2,000 days of work, 2,000 oak trees, 2,000 features restored or rebuilt as they are now bringing back Notre Dame Cathedral. So there's a big event taking place through the entire weekend for this event. So Macron, of course, the French president, will be there. There's a lot going on right now in the French politics, so that's also throwing a little bit of a wrinkle into this. The First Lady, Jill Biden, will be there. President-elect Donald Trump, the big name from the U.S. going as well. Lots of dignitaries.
Absolutely, but I am seeing that one big dignitary is not going to be there.
Yeah, so the Pope is not going. So Pope Francis, the pontiff, is going to be actually in the French Mediterranean in a couple of weeks, or like a week from now, but is skipping a visit to the capital and not going to the reopening. And a leading French archbishop says the star of the ceremony ought to be Notre Dame itself, and that the Pope didn't want to distract from that, which I guess makes sense. But in history, if you look back on this day, wouldn't that be kind of not jarring, but isn't that odd to not see? That's weird.
like-
The Pope didn't go, but everyone else is there.
Like, wanting the cathedral to be the star, like, that's fine if it's like Holy Family and Fond du Lac and they're redoing the roof and maybe, just a couple people. Hey, good job, everyone. This is Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yes.
This is one of the biggest symbols of the
Yes.
Catholic Church over history.
Yeah,
Get the guy
right.
there. Come
He's
on.
also not feeling well, though. I've seen him being moved around in
That's
a wheelchair
true.
and stuff
guess.
like that. So that
Okay.
could
It's
cause
Notre
Fine, Debbie, fine.
Notre Dame.
If he's not feeling the best, then we'll let him skip. the
I
big ceremony.
sympathize because every time I've actually gone to Paris quite a few times, and every single time I get sick. Every time I go to Paris, I get sick.
It might be for a couple of different reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the mushrooms or
It's
the
the
escargot.
entente, Debbie.
Yes, all right.
Escargot.
We got to talk Packers next. Sports is sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip. Back
Hey,
in 1
Wisconsin,
minute.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Add more joy to your holiday season and drive with confidence this winter in a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Or explore the peace of mind benefits of a GM-certified pre-owned model. Holiday's year-end sale is the destination to get more vehicle for your buck, score the season's best offers, and get more for your trade. And that's on top of Holiday's low closeout price on remaining new 2024s. Speaking as a longtime loyal fan, I know you'll appreciate Team Holiday's relaxed, pressure-free way of doing things. The transparent, simplified buying approach, family atmosphere, and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Put Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer on your side and navigate today's car market confidently. Accolades are per 2023 Buick and GMC zone sales records. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation. But they only come after you've built something they want to be part of.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi. Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Well, it's not really the end of the world, but it's a game you had a shot at. The Packers struggled, got off to a slow start Thursday night in Detroit against the Lions, but hit their groove in the second half and even had an unexpected extra chance to stop the Lions' offense, and they let it slip through their fingers. There's 43 seconds left in the game, and it was tied 31-31. The Lions had the ball, and they were within field goal attempt reach anyway. They're on the Packers 21. But instead of going for it and kicking the field goal, then they decided, well, you know what? Let's keep the offense on the field and go for the first down instead.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he's making the handoff, and this should seal it. They'll run the clock down, pick the field goal. What a call.
Yeah, that's the call on Amazon Prime, and that's what ultimately would happen. They were able to milk the clock all the way to zeros then and kick the field goal to win it. Coach LaFleur said after the game he wasn't entirely surprised that the Lions kept going for it on fourth down, but at that moment was like, oh, wow. I take it as a compliment, to be perfectly honest. That means Campbell didn't want anything to do with giving Love back the ball, giving the Packers another shot at tying the game or even more. Even with 30 seconds left, let's just try to get the 4th and inches and win it. That was their call.
Boy, if you've been a Packers fan the last 15, 20 years and sat through some of those Mike McCarthy questionable fourth down decisions, now watching Dan Campbell do it to you probably doesn't feel great.
So the Packers are still like 90% chance of making the playoffs. They're still going to be okay. They got to start winning some games, though. They're going to have to win through here, get into December. ESPN Milwaukee's Mark Tauscher, he'd love to play the Lions again.
I hope we get another crack at these guys because we played a really bad first half of football. We were able to overcome it, but not enough to beat a really good team. And when you make those mistakes and your weaknesses continue to get exposed, you lose to a team that you can beat, but right now we're not there.
Yeah, just not there. We'll check in with Tausch at 7:50. So up next, the Seahawks on Sunday night. That's a week from Sunday.
And real quick, Bucks Celtics tonight. We'll have that on WTMJ starting at 6 o'clock. Chris Middleton is probable to play. And Badger Volleyball, they're moving on in the NCAA tournament. They'll take on Georgia Tech here. That game tonight over on 94.5 ESPN.
And the Marquette women, they advanced as well in the tournament.
And they will take on Utah.
7:20. Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
We're thrilled to have the one and only Will Pounder.
I don't know what that means.
Labeled or known as being a big baguette.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting. Hey, big goings on here on WTMJ today. We are going to be broadcasting live from Grafton for most of the day.
That's right. WTMJ broadcasting starting with Wisconsin's midday news. Today we'll be at the Kasmeric Center for Human Performance, all part of the big Capco Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Capco does this every year. Got a big event tomorrow as well there in Grafton at their site. They're off of Highway 60. Really awesome event. Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive and what they do. If you can make it, great. But if you'd like to just make a monetary donation, you can do that as well. Just text the word Capco to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620, and we thank you.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
7:22. Good Friday morning to you, Debbie.
Good Friday morning to you and all and sundry. We do have one accident right now on 894 eastbound. The right lane is closed. However, they were able to get that semi out of there, so hopefully it'll be opening up soon if it hasn't already. We do have delays stretching back to the Hale interchange at the moment. The rest of the system looking pretty good. Volume's relatively light. We're looking at standard speeds, so we're in good shape. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Going to see clouds increase later today. Not super cold, a high around 30, down to 26 then tonight. We're going to start working our way up towards 50. We could be there by Monday, Saturday through Monday. Looking dry for the most part as those temperatures climb. We could see some slight rain arriving late Monday, then back down to 34 and cloudy on Tuesday. Right now in downtown Milwaukee, we've got clear skies and 17 degrees at 723.
We could learn his name today. Talking about that shooter, that suspect who is on the run in New York City after gunning down the CEO of United Healthcare, Craig Thompson. This happened 2 days ago. Around this time is when news broke of what happened in New York City as that CEO was walking into a conference at a hotel. Now we're learning a little bit more about this suspect, and it's only a matter of time now. First off, we've learned that he traveled via Greyhound bus to New York before the shooting.
CBS News can report that the person of interest that police want to question in relation to this murder investigation took a bus from Atlanta to New York City in the days prior to the attack.
All right, so that is Anna Schefter from CBS News. So the bus started its route in Atlanta. They think he showed up 10 days before the shooting. You heard her say there. Then he checked into a hostel on the Upper West Side. So he used a fake driver's license from New Jersey in that hotel, stayed in a multi-person room. He wore his mask most of his stay. Now, why would that not seem awkward? Well, it's post-COVID, and especially if you're staying in a place, closed quarters with strangers, okay, maybe you'd wear your mask. So it's not entirely out of the ordinary, right, that he'd have this mask on for all of it. But here's the part that's going to get him. He flirted.
It was a brief, flirtatious moment, but it could help catch an accused killer.
Yep, a
moment in time.
Yes. It's totally, man. This is how you always get somebody. A woman working at the hostel told authorities that at one point she asked the man to lower his mask while she was flirting with him. She said, "Hey, show me your smile." And he did, and it was caught on surveillance. And now his face is everywhere.
Police have been remarking about how this guy, whoever he is, was very careful about surveillance cameras, wearing a mask basically everywhere he went, except for at least one moment, when the lady behind the counter at the youth hostel where he was staying asked to see his smile, and he obliged.
ABC's Josh Eininger there with that. Now his face is everywhere.
Yep, if you're waking up and you haven't seen the shot of the smiling face with the hood over the head right now, you will at some point this morning.
He's a good-looking chap, but he's also going to be seen and noticed by someone. Someone knows who this guy is.
He'll be on the front page of every newspaper. It's certainly on the East Coast, mostly throughout the nation. And that's important. You want to find out who this individual is. It's up in airports, it's up in bus terminals, it's up everywhere. And now you're just looking for that face. And someone knows him somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Robert Boyce, longtime NYPD chief of detectives there.
And the other thing to just remember, a man is dead. Like, this happened in broad daylight, early morning rush. And also, I know that we had the bullets that were found at the scene with the inscriptions. There's also a water bottle they're trying to analyze. If you took a sip, that could be. But, of course, the thing that will catch your eye this morning and your ear when you're hearing about this is the fact that for a fleeting moment, a smile may have done it to him.
And very interesting because the reaction to this has been different than I think we've seen before. This man being shot and killed, the CEO of this enormous company, one of the top 5 companies, part of that anyway, in the country. And not a lot of people are always very happy about insurance companies and healthcare. And certainly some people had no sympathy for Brian Thompson, this man who died. In fact, there had been those upset with him well before 2 days ago.
Earlier this year, activists targeted United Health in its home state of Minnesota, protesters even carrying a mock coffin, accusing the company of greed and pointing to CEO Brian Thompson's $10 million compensation package.
Yeah, ABC's Andrew Dimbert there. So there is a report out in New York this morning that it's only a matter of time before this suspect is identified. Don't know if he'd be in custody, but at least identified. So you can anticipate that at some point today. News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, looking at the stock futures as we are an hour from the bell. The Dow's down, the S&P down, NASDAQ up at the moment as we wait for the bell on this Friday. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
I love the Fox and Hound Supper Club, especially the Friday fish fry. And all other dinners are buy one, get one free. I love that. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Fox and Hounds is one of the most gorgeous and affordable supper clubs to visit during the holiday season. Order anything on the menu, including steak and lobster, and your second dinner is free. Desserts, and I love that chocolate cake, are also buy one, get one free. Sip on a delicious old-fashioned, Manhattan, bourbon, 100 wines. They've got Guinness on tap. The Fox and Hounds has been transformed into a winter wonderland with thousands of lights, decorations, and Christmas characters inside and out. It is spectacular. You'll feel the warmth of those 7 real wood-burning fireplaces right away. Saturday night, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. And the Sunday brunch is magnificent. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Fox and Hounds off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The drive is beautiful. Escape from your kitchen this weekend with a free dinner. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749 or biglou.com.
Eastbound 894, still dealing with an accident with the right lane blocked right at 76th Street. Tow truck's on the scene, hooking up the last car there, so hopefully it'll be gone soon. Delays coming out of the Hale interchange, though, so you want to be extra careful. Other than that, a little bit of building volume heading through the stadium interchange in either direction on 94. Otherwise, looking good. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Some sun this morning, then clouds, a high of 30. Tonight, a low of 26, then highs in the 40s on Saturday and Sunday. Right now, 17 degrees at 7:30.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. An intense search for the suspect in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Police have released clear surveillance video of his face.
Sources say he arrived in New York November 24th on a bus that originated in Atlanta. Greyhound saying in a statement, "We are fully cooperating with authorities on this active investigation." Police are investigating whether the shooter left the city on a bus after the killing.
ABC's Aaron Katursky in Seoul, South Korea. Protesters outside the National Assembly calling on President Yoon Suk-yeol to resign for his botched attempt to impose martial law. An arson attack at a synagogue in Melbourne, Australia. The Australian Prime Minister condemning the anti-Semitic attack. Police are searching for 2 suspects. This morning's report from the Labor Department showing the U.S. added 227,000 jobs in November. That's more than the 208,000 that analysts expected. This is ABC News.
Citing unlimited WTMJ news time is 7:31.
A late night heartbreaker in Detroit.
Ball game. And what a game.
That was the call on Amazon Prime as the Lions go on to beat the Packers 34-31. Head coach Dan Campbell went for it on 4th and inches before taking a field goal to end the game. That helped milk the clock and seal the deal. Jordan Love threw for 206 yards and a touchdown. Running back Josh Jacobs looking good again, scoring 3 times, but it was not meant to be. The Packers could not just keep the Lions off the field. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher.
It was disappointing in the fact that we had opportunities to get it done, and we didn't. And I think that's going to be the stinging part for this football team, because they know in their heart of hearts they had opportunities to win this, and they could not get it done.
Much more from Tausch coming up at 7:50. The Packers face the Seahawks a week from Sunday in a Sunday night matchup from Seattle.
A man from Milwaukee heading to federal prison after selling over 200 machine gun conversion devices, otherwise known as switches, on the streets of the city. FBI Special Agent Michael Hensley.
A switch is a small piece of equipment that can turn a regular semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic machine gun. These switches allow firearms to shoot multiple rounds in seconds by simply holding down the trigger.
22-year-old Demario Robinson of Milwaukee set to serve over 7 years in federal prison.
Protests at a Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents meeting led to arrests at UW-Madison. About 50 protesters disrupted the meeting Thursday. After warning the group to end the protest, campus police arrested and then released about 20 people. The protests represented multiple pro-Palestinian groups.
A pharmaceutical company has plans to expand its southeast Wisconsin facility.
Eli Lilly and Company announced a $3 billion investment in Kenosha County. The company plans to produce an injectable drug to treat diabetes, obesity, and other medicines. The expansion calls for adding 750 jobs to the Village of Bristol facility. Lilly acquired the manufacturing facility from Nexus Pharmaceuticals earlier this year. They've been working with the state and Kenosha County on a tax incentive package for the development. Details on that have yet to be released. Construction is expected to start in 2025. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The Hilton Milwaukee is set for more than a $40 million in renovation. It's going to happen the next few months here into next year. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports the Marcus Corporation, which owns the Hilton downtown Milwaukee, will renovate and upgrade more than 500 guest rooms, including the ballrooms. Earlier this year, Marcus Corp finished a $20 million renovation for the Pfister Hotel.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 7:34.
Traffic sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Coming up, man, what are you doing?
That's the tease. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were questioning
Yeah, that's
his
all I got
tease.
for you, man.
News is sponsored by Griffin Ford, Griffin Chevy on Metro Auto Mall, and Griffin's Hub Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Craft your Brewers mini plan for the 2025 season, featuring all new 6-packs and 12-packs. Get in on the action with great ticket rates, marquee matchups, and priority seating. Plus, you'll get a limited edition Brewers Crowler with each 12-pack or pair of 6-packs. Looking to customize your games to fit your schedule? Build your own ticket plan options are also available. Pick the plan for you at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now. We carry an amazing selection of unique gifts for all the originals on your list. For the bakers, get 60% off 3-piece Wilton cookie pan sets. For the builders and fixers, 20-piece Gear Wrench ratcheting wrench sets, $59.99. And for the bird watchers, 20-pound bags of KT Wild Bird Food, just $9.99. Plus, Blaine's gift cards always make perfect gifts. Don't miss our huge gift sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time 7:36.
Check in with Mark Tauscher at 7:50 to break down that Packers-Lions game. And how concerned should we be? We'll ask him in about 15 minutes from now. I wanted to bring this to you. What was the deal with before the game with that Detroit Lions fan and the head coach of your Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I mentioned this to Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee. We had him. So there was an encounter before any football was played. You know how the fans during the national anthem will roll out the big flag, they'll wave it around. And well, after they had furled back up the flag, there was an exchange between one of the fans in a Lions jersey holding the uniform and head coach Matt LaFleur. It was analyzed in real time on NFL Network.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Who are you talking to like that?
That's a fan who was like rolling out the one pride flag.
Look at the players jumped out there. It's about to get spicy, real spicy. It's going to get hot sauce spicy.
A little hot sauce spice.
And it kind of did. Like, LaFleur was cursing at this guy, and this guy's like doing cross over his throat and all that stuff, and kind of getting the crowd all amped up. They asked LaFleur about it after the game.
Yeah, I've never been a part of something like that. He was talking junk to our players, giving them the throat slash sign, and you're trying to de-escalate it, and then he gets in my face. So I thought it was pretty unsportsmanlike. Like, I've never seen that. I've been on many fields, and usually they police that much better. I thought it was an arrogant fan that wanted to get in part of the action, and just I would like to see security or something step in there and get him out of there.
Yes, Coach.
Because it's he shouldn't be doing that.
No, he shouldn't. That was really strange. And you know what? I was trying to think of, like, who Detroit Lions fans right now have been super, super arrogant, super excited about their team. And more power to you. Your team is really good. Really
After
good.
years of being not very good.
And fans right now in Detroit kind of remind you of that silly kid that you knew in high school who all of a sudden gets a girlfriend, and then all of a sudden he's silly cocky and silly arrogant enough where you're like, dude, like, slow your roll a little bit. Like, that's kind of what the Lions fans remind me of.
But enough about my senior year at St. Mary Springs.
That was you.
No,
you were that guy.
No, I was not.
Anyway, much more on the Packers coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll do it at 7:45, and then, of course, Tausch at 7:50. News sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk, heard Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
It's going to get hot sauce spicy.
It was bound to happen. Over your career, investments came along for the ride. The first 401k, brokerage account, profit sharing, employee stock options, pension, another 401k, an insurance policy, an annuity, another 401k. You get the picture. Years went by, the collection grew. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. After all, we've seen, reviewed, dissected, discussed, and analyzed thousands of them. Some portfolios are like well-tended gardens and reflect diligence, patience, fortitude, and optimism. Others tell the story being sold commission products that might not have been the best choice, maybe for the salesperson, but not for the investor. When the financial planning team at Annex reviews your portfolio, we spot what works and what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions based on what's important. The retirement you desire. That's where the good stuff happens. That's our story. Every portfolio tells the story. Let's work on yours. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. That's AnnexWealth.com.
It's a super affordable family fish fry Friday at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Do not pay $16 or more for your fish fry. The Mine Chef fish fry is just $7.99, and it's all you can eat. You deserve it. After a long week, relax with a cold beverage and a great fish fry. Kids menu starts at $3.99, and they can safely play in that huge game room quietly tucked aside from the dining area while you finish up, maybe have an after-dinner drink. I repeat, hard to believe, the Mine Chef's all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. The Mine Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford. And near the EAA in Oshkosh, tons of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve now for your Friday, $7.99 all-you-can-eat fish fry, serving from 11 a.m. Get there early. I love that fish fry. Your Saturday steak dinner is under $20. Sunday brunch under $15. What a value. MineChefRestaurant.com.
Happy Friday, Debbie Lasgo.
Right the back at you. That earlier accident, 894 eastbound at 76th Street, is now gone. Delays are still working themselves out, so we do have delays from the Hale interchange to that point to 76th Street. Eastbound 94, got some backups between Highway F and Barker Road, and then back on the brakes from just east of 84th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound 94 is backed up from just west of 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 30 degrees today. Tonight, not as cold, a low of 26. For your Saturday, going to be breezy and mild, a high of 43. Sunday, the high is 48. Right now, just 17 at 7:42.
Wisconsin's Morning News, Erik Bilstad, Adam Robertson. Vince is out today. And also today, we're learning more about some holiday movies coming from Hallmark. You see these every year.
Yeah.
We've got the 25 Days of Christmas on ABC, and Hallmark also with their smarmy over-the-top, the bartender from some small town meeting the lady. And we may get sick of them, but you might want to tune in this Sunday because Hallmark is putting out another one of their holiday films titled A 90s Christmas, which, side note, I think we're getting a little overblown with the 90s nostalgia. Let's tampen it a little bit.
How dare you say that, Ed? Come
well,
on.
anyway, A 90s Christmas airing on Hallmark this weekend, and it's set in 1999 Milwaukee.
This paper says it's 1999. Why does this paper say it's 1999?
All right, well, I don't know why the lady sounds like she's trying to be SNL when they did the Wisconsin Women skit from a few years ago. But yeah, that's a 90s Christmas set in 1999 Milwaukee. Basically, your synopsis is a woman has been sent back in time to relive the relationships that got away.
What's going on? This is my Christmas gift to you. Merry Christmas. Your Christmas gift to me? Yeah, I brought you back to the last time that you weren't alone and you had real connections with people.
So basically the same synopsis we've seen, but it's set in 1999 Milwaukee.
Why is the Parkey's corridor here? What is happening?
Do I have to meet him at Oriental Drugs for a meal and we're going to have that magical moment? So that's coming up again.
Why is County Stadium still standing?
I believe it's AmFam in the future. Or what? I never call it. I still call it Miller Park.
So
anyway.
You're going to watch it, aren't you? It's probably not even filmed here.
100%. I'm looking at some of the trailers for this, and other than the vehicles being from that era and sprinkling some snow, it does not look like they shot this in Milwaukee. I did not see any film crews over the last couple of months.
We've not heard of whether or not former Mayor Norquist is making an appearance in the background. Was that Norquist? I think that was him.
Yeah, that was it.
7:44 sports in a minute.
Don't you just love a big holiday meal? Honey glazed ham, roasted potatoes, savory stuffing, and Grandma's homemade gingerbread cookies. I tell you, all that food can really plug you up. Your plumbing, that is. 'Tis the season for shoving a feast worth of leftover ingredients down the kitchen drain. Your pipes prefer that you throw bones, coffee grounds, eggshells, potato peels, and grease into the trash instead. Otherwise, these icky remnants bond together to grinch up your plumbing and cause all that water to back up into your holiday get-together. So, if Santa brings you a clogged drain for Christmas, call Mr. Holland's Home Services. Mr. Holland's Hydroblast technology will bomb that blockage back to the North Pole. Soon, your family will be singing, "Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow." 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Ready to flush away that holiday stress? We can help.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
The first half wasn't good, and Packers were down 17-7 against the Lions in Detroit, but they would scratch and crawl their way back into the game in the second half. Even had the lead a couple of times. Josh Jacobs just keeps rumbling. He ended up with 3 touchdowns. Kraft had a nice touchdown catch from Love. Christian Watson had some good plays in the second half as well. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Again, looking at the Lions, going for it multiple times in the fourth down, when it's fourth and whatever. They go for it. They made it 4 out of 5 times, including at the very end of the game in a chin-scratching decision, but ultimately the right one, as Detroit would take it on all the way to the waning seconds.
Ball game. And what a game.
Yeah, so that ended it there on Amazon Prime. LaFleur was asked if he was surprised at how many times Detroit went for it on fourth down.
Not necessarily. Maybe the one at the end of the game a little bit. But, that's how Dan has done it throughout the course of his career. And so it doesn't necessarily surprise me. But that gave us an opportunity there. We just, hats off to them. They executed and we didn't.
I would take it as a compliment, too, if you were the Packers. They did not want to give you the ball back at all, so why not go for it on 4th and inches there? Packers and Seahawks, that's next. It's a week from Sunday. It's a Sunday night matchup. So here's where we're at. Really, Green Bay still looks pretty good to get into the postseason. They'll get in likely a 5th or a 6th seed. Detroit is in now, clinching a spot in the playoffs with the win. So despite that, according to the New York Times playoff simulation, Packers have a 98% chance of making the postseason. So not the end of the world. It was a game you would have liked to have won. But do you want them to play again? Do you want to go after the Lions again in the postseason? Well, ask Mark Tauscher that.
The only thing I would say is the last time that I recall us going into the playoffs with a chip on our shoulder and a low seed about 14 years ago, we did a little thing called Run to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
so
sir.
You never know.
Tauscher here in about 4 minutes.
Bucks and Celtics tonight right here on WTMJ. We'll get started right after Wisconsin's afternoon news at 6. Chris Middleton is expected to play tonight. So the Bucks at least trying to get some of those injured players back. Also, Giannis probable to play tonight as well. Badger volleyball, they are moving on in the NCAA tournament. It's that time of year again for the Badgers to start making a deep run. They take quick work of Fairfield. We said it before. They did not look like they were on the same stratosphere as the Badgers at all. An hour and 17 minutes. Bing, bam, boom. We're done. Next
Can you
up,
imagine being in there for that game? Like all of a sudden, how wide their eyes must have been just hearing the crowd going nuts and everything that a volleyball game brings here in Madison.
Just truly a magical moment.
It is.
I'm just happy to be here. Next up, Georgia Tech for Wisconsin. You can hear that game tonight over on 94.5 ESPN. Marquette also, by the way, advancing in the tournament. They made quick work also of Florida Gulf Coast. Utah, the 4th seed, coming up for the Golden Eagles. And also UW Milwaukee men's basketball, their winning ways continue. 79-67, the Thursday night win over Cleveland State.
And speaking of the Badgers and Marquette, big Wisconsin-Marquette game tomorrow in downtown Milwaukee, Fiserv Forum basketball game.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday, wind out of the sails, maybe just a touch with the losses this week.
Yeah.
But that's
all right.
still very highly ranked basketball coming to Milwaukee.
Tausch is next, 7:49.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, if you need a bath or shower remodel this holiday season, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain. When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at Bartolottas.com. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Debbie, if you're looking for a gift for me, Bartolotta gift card.
Look at that.
Get yours at Bartolottas.com. Traffic, of course, is brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants.
Nice. Okay.
And thank you.
Yes. We've got eastbound 94 slowing down between Highway F and Barker Road. Then you're back on the brakes from 84th all the way through to 35th Street. The westbound side's going to be slow from 35th to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 41, couple pockets of heavy traffic. One right past Capitol Drive, another one between North Avenue and Mayfair Road. Eastbound 894 is winding down nicely. It's easing up between Forest Home and 60th Streets, where you're going to see a little bit of a delay. Other than that, we've actually got a pretty good ride shaping up around the area. No other major incidents to report. Hey, but if you do happen to see something we should know about, give us a call on the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Come to Hall Volkswagen for the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The forecast brought to you by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. We'll start out clear today. Clouds will then increase this afternoon with a high around 30. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 26. Our warm-up starts tomorrow into 40s, then up to near 50 by Monday. It will stay dry all weekend. Rain chances then arrive late Monday. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and a little colder with a high around 34. Right now in Milwaukee, 18 and sunny at 7:52.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he's making the handoff, and this should seal it. They'll run the clock down, pick the field goal. What a call.
The call on Amazon Prime. The Lions going for it on 4th and inches when they didn't even have to. Mark Tauscher joins us, sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tausch, initial thoughts of what you saw last night?
I mean, it was kind of a lot of what I thought was going to happen is that the Packers offense was going to be really good for it wasn't good enough in the beginning of the game. The first half wasn't, but a lot of moxie and cojones, if you will, from Dan Campbell, which I don't think you didn't need. Like I appreciate the fact that he plays to his brand, but I thought last night there was a couple of things. Green Bay, you weren't as good on offense in that first half against that defense that we needed to be. And then defensively, they did a lot of good things, but just not at all on the night could they get any pressure on Jared Goff. So the game, very rarely do you kind of see something and you think this is how the game's going to play. Green Bay didn't do what it needed to when it comes to pressuring Jared Goff. They did in slowing down that really good run game. So I get it. You can't, you're playing against a really good team and a really good offense. You're not going to be able to take everything away, but just way too easy for Jared Goff last night. And I think that was a big reason why they were able to pull it out.
And then on the other side, Mark, I heard Herb Street say during the call, you live by the sword and die by the sword if you're Dan Campbell. And that's kind of been his mantra because they had that 4th down in their own territory. They went for it. They missed. Packers score. But Dan Campbell, he has been this way for his entire time coaching, and it almost makes you wonder if the Packers wish, maybe for all those years where they were so conservative on those 4th down calls, that maybe they had a guy like Campbell at the helm.
Well, it's easy to say when it works.
True.
The Lions were really close to, Jared Goff tripping, being down, fumbling, and then all of a sudden Green Bay gets the ball at the 30-some yard line, 25, 30-yard line, and 45 seconds to go down and get a field goal opportunity of their own. So that's the brand that Dan Campbell's brought, and you have to respect what he's done. That Lions organization was a complete dumpster for a long time. It's taken time, but he's changed that, and that mentality is what has changed. So you have to be able to look your guys in the locker room in the eyes, and even if they had lost and it didn't work out, say, this is what we do. But with that said, the Packers and the Lions are more than likely going to meet in the playoffs again. I think these are two of your best 3 teams in the NFC. And it's cute and great to do that here in a regular season game, playoff game with 40 seconds left or whatever it was, to not take the lead and put that onus back. Analytics be damned. There's all these other options. You have to also be smart. You gave a short field to an offense when you were ahead. The Packers take advantage of that. You have to kind of play the game the way you see it flowing out. And obviously Dan Campbell thought his defense was going to have a hard time stopping Jordan Love. He went for it. It worked. And when you do that, you deserve the flowers. But you also, when it doesn't, you flip it around, and you have to be smart about it. I think Matt LaFleur is pretty aggressive when it comes to 4th downs. Not Dan Campbell aggressive, no doubt. And I'm sure that's something you'll look at when you're playing the Detroit Lions, because time of possession and all of those 4th down conversions last night, that's why they won the game. They got 7 points twice down in the red zone where a lot of teams would have kicked that field goal, and those points obviously add up.
Even with the loss, Packers likely to make the playoffs. Very high analytics indicates the percentages, more than 90% they're going to make the postseason.
Hey, Eric,
anyway.
book it. Hey,
Book it, yeah.
I don't say this often. Book it. They're going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to be a 5 or a 6.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you want Detroit again? You want to get up there one more time?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Is there anything – now, it's going to be a tough matchup. You're going to play Philly. There's going to be tough match. Playoffs are about – you're not going to play – there's no gimmies in the playoffs. Mm-mm. Now, I would have loved to have been able to at least stay in the mix to win the division and all, because now that the rest of this regular season is going to be really interesting. They're going to compete and go for it, but the odds are saying they're not winning the division. They're 3 games back, right, tiebreaker. It's just not going to happen. So if you can tell me right now that on divisional round weekend or the NFC Championship game, we got to go to Detroit, I think everybody in that locker room is going to be motivated and feels very good that they can beat that Detroit team. Now, whether or not that can happen, I hope we find out.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times, I'll tell you that much.
But why not us?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're playing a team that you demolish every time, I think, yeah, bring them on. But a team that you're winning late like you'd had to, it is tough because at some point you think that other team is going to get over the hump. But if it's a Division III team playing a Division I team, it's probably like, yeah, bring them on. We'll play them a 4th time. Heck, bring them a 5th time if you want.
All right, fair enough. Have a good weekend, sir.
See you guys.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Drug maker Eli Lilly and Company plans to invest $3 billion and add 750 employees in Kenosha County as the company expands a plant it acquired in April. The Indianapolis-based company expects to start the expansion project in 2025. GE Healthcare Technologies, which has major operations in Waukesha and Milwaukee counties, aims to grow development of artificial intelligence devices. Its goal is to optimize patient care and increase operational efficiencies at hospitals and clinics. Marcus Hotels and Resorts looks ahead to a more than $40 million renovation of its Hilton-branded hotel in downtown Milwaukee. The work will remove 175 of the hotel's 729 rooms. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
Allison Krauss and Union Station, featuring Jerry Douglas. Arcadia 2025 Tour. Friday, June 6th, BMO Pavilion, with special guest Willie Watson. Get tickets Friday, 10 a.m. at AllisonKrauss.com. Don't miss Allison Krauss and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, live. Produced by FPC Live.
Too late to keep them out, but you can get rid of them. Vince Vitrano for the Bugman and Queen Bee, your best pest defense. And because they're local, this family veteran-owned and operated business knows Wisconsin winter. You get the Bugman and Queen Bee out to your home or business for the crack, crevice, and void treatment. That'll take care of any insects that already got in, and we're hoping to spend the winter inside your walls. Ugh. 20% off your first service or double up with a rodent inspection, 25% off the cost of both when you tell them Vinny sent you. BugmanQueenBee.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and All Right Home and Remodeling, and S&E Insulation. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Boston is about to see green in fall. Well, more than usual, that is.
Catch and shoot 3 from A.J. Green. How did he hit that one? The Dairy Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
The Bucks and Celtics face off with coverage beginning tonight at 6 on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 8:01. I'm Erik Bilstad. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Friday, December 6. Our top story, there's still a chance for the playoffs.
I'm Adam Roberts. Preemptive pardons are being planned.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94, backing up from 84th Street through to about 35th. The westbound side's tight through the stadium interchange. And then again, you'll be back on the brakes from about Moreland Road all the way past Calhoun. We've also got some taps on the brakes on southbound 41 heading through the Capitol Drive area. Once you get to Burleigh, should be good to go all the way down to the zoo. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The clouds are going to roll in as the day goes on, a high of 30. Tonight, not as cold, a low of 26. We have highs in the 40s tomorrow, and on Sunday, it's going to be mild through the weekend. Right now, it's just 18 degrees at 8:02. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center.
Ball game. And what a game.
A late-night heartbreaker in Detroit. That was the call on Amazon Prime as the Lions go on to beat the Packers 34-31. The Lions head coach Dan Campbell went for a gutsy fourth down before kicking that field goal to seal the deal. The win puts Detroit in the playoffs. The Packers, they're in position. They should be okay. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Obviously, we got a couple games left here, and we're trying to finish on the right note and win out these last couple games and handle business, take it one game at a time, and obviously we'll see what happens postseason time.
Love throwing for 206 yards and a score. Josh Jacobs, that is, also with 3 touchdowns of his own. The defense, though, for the Packers, just unable to get off the field at any point where it mattered Thursday night. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher.
It was disappointing in the fact that we had opportunities to get it done, and we didn't. And I think that's going to be the stinging part for this football team, because they know in their heart of hearts they had opportunities to win this and they could not get it done.
4 games left for the Pack in the regular season. Up next, a trip to Seattle, December 15th.
It's now day 3 in the manhunt for the person who shot and killed a healthcare executive. New York City police tight-lipped about their investigation into this shooting in New York, even after releasing photos of a person of interest. Former NYPD Lieutenant Commander John Cardinale says just because the police aren't talking doesn't mean they're not working.
I think there's a lot more that they have right now. And I think right now they have the photos out there that are going to help identify him. But they also have some other evidence that they're going to hold close to the vest right now until they start furthering the case down the line. But they'll stay on this 24/7 with all the manpower that they need to get this case solved.
United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down outside a hotel earlier this week. Police believe it was a targeted attack. The shooter, again, remains at large.
Reports coming in that President Joe Biden is considering issuing preemptive pardons. ABC's Mary Bruce.
Members of the Biden administration are deeply concerned that Donald Trump is planning to make good on his promises of retribution against his political opponents. And now we have learned that the president's senior aides are weighing preemptive pardons for officials who they fear may be targeted, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, the senator-elect, General Mark Milley, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. This is all an effort to try and protect these people before they've even been charged with any crimes.
If pardons were to be given out, the recipients can reject them if they choose.
Serving over 7 years in federal prison for distributing and selling illegal machine gun conversion devices. It happened right here in Milwaukee. FBI Special Agent Michael Hensel says the arrest of Demario Robinson was a collaborative effort.
Combating it really is a team effort with Milwaukee PD. As the chief said, we know hundreds of these are on the street. And this is something that ends up being part of every investigation, and it really does make the shootings and the individuals carrying these much more deadly, and significantly the local and federal law enforcement officers who are involved in investigations of them.
Hensley says authorities are working with community groups to prevent more distribution of switches.
The gunman who wounded 2 kindergartners in a school attack at a school in Northern California earlier this week has now been identified. 56-year-old Glenn Litton, according to police, had a long but non-violent criminal past, turning the gun on himself after shooting 2 young boys Wednesday. CBS's Elise Preston.
Kindergartners Elias Wolford and Roman Mendez were returning from lunch Wednesday when a bullet pierced Elias's lung and stomach, and Roman was struck twice in his chest. New surveillance images show the gunman's movements on campus moments before the attack.
He has his hand inside his jacket. After that, he pulls the firearm and initiates his attack.
Police say the gunman faked interest in enrolling a grandchild to gain access to the campus.
The 2 young children are this morning in critical but stable condition.
Coming up, banning users from their favorite apps.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 8:06.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Steel holiday savings are here. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at steelusa.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:08.
Protests at UW-Madison.
A group of about 50 people disrupted a Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents meeting around 8:30 Thursday morning for about 15 minutes. After campus police warned the group to end the protest, they arrested and then released 19 people. It's not yet clear how many of those arrested were students. The protesters represented multiple pro-Palestinian groups at both UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
An important question for law enforcement. How do you approach someone with dementia during an emergency? Whitefish Bay Police Chief Patrick Whittaker with the answer says the department recently taking dementia training to know how to best approach a person with dementia or Alzheimer's, telling WTMJ.
We go through training for crisis intervention training, which is for more mental health aspects, which can be part of this, but knowing that there's some differences in how to deal with people with dementia is really important.
Whittaker says if someone does bump into a person with dementia who needs help, it's best to keep eye contact with that person and then calmly talk with them until help arrives.
Social media platforms are the target of a lawmaker from Texas who says not enough is being done to protect children who use those sites. News Nation's Xavier Walton reports that if a bill is passed that's being pushed by this lawmaker, children would be banned from sites like TikTok, X, Instagram until at least 18.
If passed, it would restrict kids 18 or younger in Texas from using social media platforms. We're talking about State House Bill 186. Social media companies would also be required to have age verification and allow parents to call for their child's accounts to be removed.
Yeah, social media companies would be required to do age verification and give the parents the right to remove a child from an account.
And we're seeing this a lot. Yeah. It was just reported recently, Australia, they've outright banned social media for anyone under 16. Now, I will say, we had the story this week about the McQuantico cell phone ban and how enforcement is at the crux of the issue. Mm-hmm. Parents saying, I don't care if you use your phone, whatever. This is very similar. Like, are parents going to care or just say, oh, yeah, I'll age verify you for sure. Yep, click, go back to doing your thing, whatever. That's important, too, in all this.
8:10.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now. We carry an amazing selection of unique gifts for all the originals on your list. For the home chef, 12-piece Kenmore ceramic cookware sets are over half off, just $59.99. For the cleaners and organizers, get $30 off a 9-gallon Craftsman wet dry vac. And power-up gifts with 16 packs of Duracell AA or AAA batteries, just $12.99. Don't miss our huge gift sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
After a series of meetings with the James Imaging Systems sales rep, Matheson Manufacturing chose document imaging technology from James. Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leininger.
They have a reputation out in the field. They've been around for a long, long time. I was really impressed with it.
I also understand you're impressed with the document imaging technology.
Yes, it's quicker, it's faster. We can do a lot more with the copy functions.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better support, even lower printing costs.
Yes, definitely. I think the lease is very cost effective for us. It certainly helps with cash flow, and it's just good.
Al, anything else you'd like to add about your experience with James Imaging Systems?
Yes, James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
812. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Eric. We have a broken down vehicle on the ramp from 25th Street to 94 eastbound, so something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading onto the freeway through that on-ramp. Otherwise, eastbound 94 is backing up from 76th Street to Hawley Road and then again through the Stadium interchange to about 25th. Westbound's pretty clear at the moment through Milwaukee County. A little bit tight heading past Moreland Road and then again out past Brookfield Road. The rest of the system is actually looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Did St. Nick leave you anything good, Debbie?
That's a source.
Uh-oh.
No, he did. Unfortunately, St. Nick did not remember to leave stuff for my husband. So, yeah.
Yikes.
Feeling kind of bad about that. So I refuse to touch mine until St. Nick finally brings my husband.
We'll take a tip out of my book. Just leave a toothbrush in his shoe or something.
Toothbrush and an orange. There you go.
Nice.
I have gotten fruit before from St. Nick.
Happy holidays.
As for the forecast, sun this morning, then some increasing clouds, a high of 30. Tonight, not as cold, a low of 26. Got highs in the 40s Saturday and Sunday. 43 tomorrow, 48 on Sunday. The high on Monday, 49. Right now, it's 18 at 8:13.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad.
Vince is back next week. Adam Roberts in studio. Adam, thanks for being here.
Glad to do it, Eric. Good morning.
Of course, we had our Packers game from Thursday night. Tough one to lose. They came back, made it a game, lost in the final seconds. We're going to discuss the arrogant fan. I'll do that here coming up in about 8 minutes. But first, lots to get through. There's a lot happening in the next couple of days and some newsworthy moments that we want to make sure that you are aware of.
Big weekend coming up.
Yes. So President-elect Donald Trump is expected to travel to New York City, and he's going to tape an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, which then, of course, would run on Sunday. And then he's heading to Paris. Why would he be going to Paris? Well, Notre Dame is reopening.
That's right. After the fire of 2019, you mentioned watching it live. I also watched that live in 2019. Jarring images of the steeple burning and tumbling down. Awful scene.
Mm-hmm. So 2,000 days of work to rebuild, 2,000 oak trees to be used to help with that. They've done all this work, and now they're going to reopen it. Very, very special. There's going to be tons of dignitaries there. First Lady Jill Biden will be at some of the events as well this weekend. But one person who will not be, the Pope. Pope Francis will not be going to any of the events. He's actually going to be in the Mediterranean next week, but he's not going to the opening ceremony, if you will, of Notre Dame because according to some French officials, or I'm sorry, not French officials, but some Vatican officials, you know what? Notre Dame should be the star. He doesn't want to steal away from the limelight of the church.
But you're the pontiff, man. And like I said before, Notre Dame, this is a 1,000-year-old historically significant part of the church where so much history has happened over the years. And this is also an historical moment for that facility.
This seems strange, though, if you look back in history. 50 years from now, when they look back, they'll be like, oh, yeah, but the Pope didn't go.
Well, we will, sitting in the nursing homes. Like, yeah, the Pope didn't show up.
I mentioned Jill Biden. Speaking of the Bidens, senior aides to President Biden, this is making news this morning, said to be discussing whether or not to issue preemptive pardons to a number of current and former public officials to shield them from possible retribution or illegal prosecution from the incoming administration. We've heard some of that from President-elect Donald Trump. Here's CBS's Nancy Cortez.
We're told that names of individuals have not necessarily been discussed specifically with President Biden, but they have debated whether this would be a good idea with him.
And some of those names could include Senator-elect Adam Schiff, former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, and others. So curious to see if there's more movement on that story. One of the big stories that's also happening today, and the one that we anticipate could really have a dramatic change here, we could learn who the suspected shooter is of the CEO, United Healthcare, Craig Thompson, later today, because they have his face. Here's the deal. This guy did everything he could to gun down the CEO in front of a hotel earlier this week. He did everything he could to keep his face covered. He wore a mask. Even when he stayed at a hotel on the Upper West Side, he wore a mask. He was in a hostel with other people. He wore a mask. But there's one thing that may end up catching this guy. There could be multiple, but this is the big one. The big thing that could ultimately catch this guy is that he is a dude.
It was a brief flirtatious moment, but it could help catch an accused killer.
Yep, this guy was going out of his way to prevent anyone from seeing his face, but when he talked to the lady who worked at the hostel, she goes, "Oh, let me see your smile." And he melted a little bit, pulled down his mask, smiled at her, and it's all on video.
I wonder.
We know exactly what he looks like.
When they finally get this guy and they have the presser where there's the gaggle of media coming up, I have to wonder, the first person to ask the DA or the police chief of New York, "So was it the smile, sir?"
What were you hoping would happen with that worker you talked to, dude? It's 8:18. And I also am curious, one of the other things that might catch this guy is that he's almost becoming a celebrity in some way. There's a lot of people not necessarily celebrating the death of the CEO by any means, but celebrating the fact that there's more light being shed on the fact that insurance companies are not always the best. And there's a lot of people that struggle to get covered. And that reminded me a little bit about a story that took place Thursday that you've been covering, Adam, here in Milwaukee.
That's right. It was down at City Hall. A CEO of Ascension, Wisconsin, and kind of a rarity for these sort of business frontmen of these hospital organizations, was called before a committee to answer questions about the moves happening at St. Joe's on Milwaukee's north side, where they're closing a cath lab in about a week. Which, if you don't know, cath labs are where you go for cardiac events.
Okay.
When you have a heart attack or some sort of pulmonary issue, you go into a cath lab. Well, they're closing it down, and the CEO came under fire for a lack of communication about this, and that's something that's not too surprising. You know, a lot of people were wondering, well, this kind of came out of nowhere when they announced it in November. And the CEO coming back firing on Thursday saying, "Hey, man, I'm just making my business decisions. I just doing what I got to do."
I ask that you trust in our judgment and expertise and collaborations with our medical staffs are the things that we do.
That's CEO Daniel Jackson for Ascension, Wisconsin. But yet, to your point, Eric, a lot of people find it very easy to fire shots at those who make these business decisions in healthcare.
And I know no pun
wrong.
intended. I know you didn't intend it.
No, I did not.
Right.
But to the other side of that coin, these are people who have to make financial decisions.
Right.
They're not the ones denying people at the door per se, but a lot of people perceive it that way. And that's why there's sort of this underlying vitriol of anger we're seeing on social media, or maybe indifference to the CEO's death in New York.
There clearly are some issues with the healthcare system. I don't think there's anyone that would disagree with that statement. And this is just another one that we've seen. We've seen two just this week, one here locally, and then, of course, that tragedy in New York City. It's 8:20. She's calling St. Nick right now asking,
Yeah, what happened?
You know what? I got trail mix from St. Nick, and Adam made fun of me for that, Debbie.
I know.
We're really just cycling this around, man. Just get whatever you want. St. Nick, bring whatever you want for anyone.
Adam used
we'll
to get PlayStation games, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. That,
He's one of those
that
kids.
gold Rolex that he's supposed to be getting
I didn't
from
own a
St. Nick there,
PlayStation.
yeah. All right, well, we got eastbound 94 backing up just a bit, heading through from just before Holly Road through the stadium interchange. Westbound has cleared up nicely, so we're in good shape there. 43, 41, both all looking really good. The bypass also looking really good as well, so we're in good shape. Hey, by the way, you can help out your fellow commuters. You can report accidents and slowdowns to the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line. It's 414-238-9329. Come to Hall Volkswagen for the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Coming up, the arrogant fan.
We've all heard of Larry Bird. Allow us to introduce Dairy Bird.
It's A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a 1-point game. Giannis back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Dairy Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Dairy Bird and the Bucks. WTMJ.
Happy holidays. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress. If you are looking for affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses, you got to do what my family did. Go to Built Right. Built Right's held over Black November deals and $1 million clearance sell-off ends Saturday. It's all about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. 4 generations, 96 years strong. Built Right always saves you money. 3rd and 4th generation family members right there in the store, along with their amazing team with over 400 years experience. Be ready for your holiday guests with thousands of furniture and mattress items in stock, including dining room, living room, bedroom, sleeper sofas, lift chairs, recliners, and much, much more. 60 models of USA-made mattresses, including flippable and heavy-duty models. Built Right also has a great selection of holiday accessories. Candles and gift certificates are available too. Built Right voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. My reverse osmosis system in my house is fantastic. The water I drink, the water we feed the dogs, the water we cook with is crisp, clean, and clear thanks to Guthrie and Fry's RO system. It's the best in the business. It's affordable, it's effective, and you'll feel a lot better. It's all about the science. They know at Guthrie and Fry that better water makes a big difference. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice and my choice is Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
8:24 in Wisconsin's morning news. Thursday night football. Packers first half, 17-7. I think they went into the half, and second half made it a game. Figured out some things, went back to using Jacobs a little bit more, and he scored 3 touchdowns, by the way. And the Packers would even take the lead in that game on Thursday night. Make it down to the final seconds. Detroit took a surprising, I guess, even for them, they went for it on 4th down, and then they kicked it with time expiring to beat the Packers. Now, grand scheme of things, you never want to lose, but like Vince said the other day, it's not the end of the world. Them losing this game is not going to prevent them from making the playoffs. They are likely to get in, and I don't know about you. I don't want to play them. I wouldn't want to play Green Bay.
Okay, you don't want to play. You would, if you're another team, you wouldn't want to play.
I wouldn't
want
to play Green Bay.
Very true.
And Green Bay may end up being back in Detroit, which would be very delicious.
Oh, yes.
Interesting moment before the game that took place between the head coach of your Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, and one of the fans holding the American flag.
Who are you talking to like that?
That's a fan who was like rolling out the one pride flag.
Look at the players jumped out there. It's about to get spicy, real spicy. It's going to get hot sauce spicy.
Ooh, all right, hot sauce spicy. So NFL Network. Then.
You know how they bring out all the fans, and oftentimes the giant American flag that covers like the entire field. It's all rolled up, right? Mm-hmm. And they all walk it out there, and they all hold it, and then one side holds it, and the other side unfurls the flag. Very, nice, beautiful moment before the games. Well, this one guy wearing a Lions jersey just got into it with LaFleur. And LaFleur's like literally cussing this guy out. Like, what do you? And it's so interesting because not only is the head coach angry, but also kind of confused and surprised. Why is this guy even starting crud?
So when I first saw this on social last night, I was sharing it with my wife, and I was like, "Man, what is LaFleur doing?" I was totally on the side of, "Man,
Sure,
don't
of
be
course.
running your mouth," and the tender's now set for the fans. But now with the gift of hindsight, you're like, "Yeah, dude." And Gabe said earlier this morning with us from ESPN Milwaukee, there are many padded men out there who, if you bump and make the wrong motion to, they will clean your clock and not blink about it.
Yeah, strange moments. So the head coach was asked about it after the game.
Yeah, I've never been a part of something like that. He was talking junk to our players, giving them the throat slash sign. And you're trying to de-escalate it, and then he gets in my face. So I thought it was pretty unsportsmanlike. Like, I've never seen that. I've been on many fields, and usually they police that much better. I thought it was an arrogant fan that, wanted to get in part of the action, and just, I would like to see security or something step in there and get him out of there, because he shouldn't be doing that.
Right? Nah, you really shouldn't be. I mean, if you're going to be on the field, you can't be going after the opposing team like that. Just silly. I was trying to get my arms around this, Adam. The Detroit Lion fan right now, because we know some, used to work with a few, and
Same
like
here.
They always were fans, but understood that their teams were never really all that good, yada yada. And now recently, the last couple of years, and more power to them, their team is really exciting.
Yeah, it's real easy to become cocky when you got a lot of W's.
And they are and I know they're probably taking that off their head coach, who I really like. Head coach Dan Campbell, one of the best coaches in the league. So is LaFleur. So is the Vikings head coach. Like this, the North has a lot of really good coaches.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard not to like. I like Campbell. I know that it's sacrilegious to say that. How can? But I do. He seems like a genuinely pretty good, authentic dude. But clearly they have this arrogance and this confidence that they get from him, right? But what happened? Like, God, the cockiness of Detroit fandom now is off the charts.
And we see this in fan bases who have had years in the desert, and then you get that moment where now you're 12-1. But I would say push pause, guys, because realistically, what have you done? Other than running in the regular season, what have you actually done? Because last year you came close and you came up short. If it happens again, that's when narratives start. So I just caution you, as someone who has been a Toronto Maple Leafs fan for a long time, and that team always does great in the regular season and then never does good in the playoffs. Just a word of warning.
And like I said before, reminds me of that kid you knew in high school who's kind of a schlubby kid, whatever. Hey, how's it going? And then all of a sudden they meet a girl and get into have a girlfriend, and then they're strutting down the hallways like, yo, hey, who's got math class? I got math class. Hey, what's going on? All of a sudden there's like this crazy confidence that they have. Yeah. That's what Detroit Lions
all right,
fans.
Tim, just settle down. By the way, your pants are on backwards, but good job.
That's what they remind me of right now. They're doing good. They got that girlfriend those Lions fans have right now, or that boyfriend, and they're just super cocky about it. 8:30.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Spartan Coatings. Concrete coating expertise. It's about style. It's about durability. It's about high quality. They're doing my garage floor. They're the best in the business. They are really the best. And right now, if you book before the end of the year, you'll get $300 off your project. That's their gift to you for gifting them your trust. Don't wait. Visit SpartanCoat.com or call 262-462-0000 to book your project and save that $300. Strength meets style. That's Spartan Strong.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. It's the holiday season, a time for family, friends, staying cozy inside. But if your home is drafty, it's hard to stay comfortable. And with all the gift giving happening this time of year, why don't you give yourself the gift of lower energy bills with new windows from Universal Windows Direct? Call 414-410-2000. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months for the last windows you'll ever need. Go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
8:30, I'm Erik Bilstad. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Friday, December 6th. Our top story just wasn't enough for the win.
I'm Adam Roberts. Some changes coming to protect young patients.
I'm Debbie Lotziga. A little bit of a backup on eastbound 94 right past 35th Street. Otherwise, the rest of the system is looking pretty good. We do have one issue in Sheboygan on northbound 43, right about just north of Highway 28. We have the 2 right lanes closed with a crash just south of the city of Sheboygan, so careful with that. I'm Debbie Lotziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
More clouds throughout the day, a high of 30. Tonight, not as cold, low of 26. We have highs in the 40s through the weekend and into Monday. Right now, 18 degrees at 8:33. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a late-night heartbreaker in Detroit.
Ball game. And what a game.
And that was the call, Amazon Prime, as the Lions go on to beat the Packers 34-31 as time expired. Now, the Packers still in position right now to make the postseason. Quarterback Jordan Love threw for 206 yards and a touchdown. Running back Josh Jacobs would score 3 times. Packers would even have the lead a couple of times in the second half, but the defense just couldn't get off the field. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher.
It was disappointing in the fact that we had opportunities to get it done, and we didn't. And I think that's going to be the stinging part for this football team, because they know in their heart of hearts they had opportunities to win this and they could not get it done.
Up next, the Seahawks, a week from Sunday on Sunday night.
A not guilty plea for a man burning down his own mansion. Robert Staton of Burlington, arraigned on Thursday, is charged with negligent handling of burning materials. This after an early morning fire in November at the Manhunt mansion in Burlington in southeast Wisconsin. Stanton has owned the property since July, but was arrested hours after that fire began, due back in court in February. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Walking pneumonia is on the rise, especially during the winter months. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston tells WTMJ that he's seen a rise in cases with children.
Ages 2 to 4. The thought is that when you look at this age group during the pandemic, people were more inside, they were being cautious. You didn't get this sort of exposure, this sort of immunity out there as you would during normal times.
Weston says people with walking pneumonia should do their best to actively avoid other people with weakened immune systems especially.
New visitor rules, meanwhile, coming for Children's Wisconsin. Starting on next Wednesday, only children 12 and older can visit patients at the Milwaukee and Fox Valley Children's Hospitals in the state. Up to 6 visitors will be allowed on a patient's visitor list, and that list cannot change during a patient's stay. The rule changes are a part of the hospital system's annual viral season precautions.
Major changes for a downtown hotel. Milwaukee Hilton is going to have a $40 million renovation the next few months. Journal Sentinel reports the Marcus Corp, which owns the Hilton, will renovate and upgrade more than 500 guest rooms, including the ballrooms there. Renovations will be completed by next summer.
Time for news now about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Trading is open for this Friday morning, and the majors with some modest gains to start the day. The Dow's up 74 points at 44,848. The Nasdaq up 69 at 19,769. And the S&P 500 up 15 points this morning at 6,091. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Traffic sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com.
Upgrade to a beautiful Kohler Luxstone shower in as little as a day or 2 with the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com today.
Coming up, is it the end of an era or just the beginning?
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Wayne Larrivee. Are you ready to make a play for your future? Make a call to my friends at Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. For nearly 40 years, their fiduciary advisors have been helping people just like you make smart plays for the future and reach the retirement end zone. If you have $750,000 or more in investable assets, make a play. Call 262-522-4040 or visit thekowalway.com.
This endorsement is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group. Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They provide additional daily living assistance for those with cognitive decline. And right now they're offering a curriculum-based class similar to a day program to the public for those with early to mid-memory loss. It's a great time to think about this during the holiday season. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Locations throughout Wisconsin, right here in the Milwaukee area, AzuraLiving.com.
8:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News. We are just minutes away from a pancake breakfast. Before that, though, all good things must come to an end, Adam.
True.
After more than 150 shows across 5 continents, Taylor Swift's record-breaking Eras Tour is coming to a close on Sunday night in Vancouver. And what you could say about this tour, whether you're a Taylor Swift fan or like her music or not, is that she has changed the game. Rob Sheffield is a New York Times bestseller. He wrote Heartbreak and the National Anthem.
The Eras Tour, it's going to have a massive impact on how performers operate in the future. For one thing, it's going to make them nervous because they have to try so much harder. Their bar has been raised that she's out there doing 3.5 hours every night. And so for a lot of performers looking at this tour, they must be thinking, good Lord, the standard for what is the maximum has been raised. We don't know what the impact of that is even going to be.
Right, yeah. So who could rival that or even put on a longer, bigger, more populated show than her, and who's going to try?
And something that I think about when I analyze then, okay, how do we go forward with concerts? When we talk about events like here in Milwaukee with Summerfest, which has always for years been about getting those big names and putting on the grand show at the amphitheater, amphitheater's getting up there in years. And is the standard going to be raised for even some of these maybe like A- music stars who are trying to get to that upper echelon of, hey, man, I'm trying to be the big thing now. I can't be doing my show at a place that was designed in maybe like the early 90s or whatever. It's just something to think about.
Well, what we do know is that Swift fans are going to be paying attention on Sunday night. Why? Other than the fact that this will be the last show of her tour. It's, well, according to this Schaefer, she likes to make announcements.
She does love to announce things, doesn't she? And she loves to announce things in big moments when she knows that the world is watching. So it seems highly likely that she might choose that night to drop some kind of bombshell.
I am breaking up with Travis. How great would that be?
Oh.
Debbie Laska's got Rose at 8:40.
Yeah, bring me up. Okay. What the?
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
We're speculating. We do not know that there's going to be any breakup announcement made.
No.
I hope not. Okay, we have an issue in Sheboygan, northbound 43. We've got just north of Highway 28. We've got the 2 right lanes blocked with a crash. So that's going to be slow from 28 on up into Sheboygan itself. But the rest of the system is looking pretty good. I'm not really seeing any other delays out there. So, hot dog. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A very special pancake breakfast special is next.
Al Leidinger, president of Matheson Manufacturing, needed better document imaging technology rather badly. Then came a James Imaging System sales representative to the rescue.
Tammy Oliver actually walked in the door one day and introduced herself and showed us the new features that the Toshiba had compared to our old copier. So we ended up signing up with them.
Now, after the sale, is your James Imaging System sales rep's customer service meeting your expectations?
Yes, she still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better support, amazing people.
There's a true personal relationship, and we've been very happy with them.
Less than happy with your current document imaging vendor? Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
8:43 Wisconsin's morning news. Hey, by the way, to our point earlier about cocky Lions fans, this one coming in from the 414. That segment about cocky Lions fans hits home. My neighbor is a Lions fan. He's been intolerable since practice started in August, yada, yada, yada. I think he came out with pots and pans or something he was banging. Really something else, eye rolls. They're already coming out.
Here we go. Imagine if they just keep on winning. We do it every time on Fridays around this part of the program here on Wisconsin's Morning News. Greg Pancake Hill, his name is Pancake because he used to work at the Pancake House, which no longer exists. And every Friday, he serves up something called the good old-fashioned pancake breakfast special.
What about breakfast?
You've already had it.
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
All right, this is easily one of the coolest pancake breakfast specials of all time, going on record. Now, you may have already seen this story. Sometimes you read about people hiking up Everest with, like, no clothes on or something, or walking across the country Forrest Gump style, like really cool accomplishments that push the physical envelope. Well, this story is way cooler than all that. I introduce you to Dr. Clark Gamblin. He's a surgical oncologist at Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin. So he treats people with cancer. By the way, he's a cancer survivor himself. Oh, and just to overfloweth the cup of being a total badass, he's set to run 7 consecutive marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. Wow. It's called the World Marathon Challenge, and it's the most wild thing that... It seems like someone kind of just ad-libbed. Like, you know, it'd be the most ridiculous thing we could do.
You can't call that... It's not Century Club. This isn't a challenge.
It's a challenge. As much a diet is a challenge, right? That pushes the boundaries of physical capabilities of humans. Okay, so I had so many questions when I heard about this story, so I got them. I interviewed him, and I had to ask these things, and I did not shy away. This is how I started the interview. 7 days, 7 consecutive marathons in 7 continents. And I was asking people around the office, I said, you know, if you had to ask someone who's achieving this, any question, we all kind of had the same one. And my first question is, why, man?
Yeah, it's a great question.
It's a great question.
Great question.
So he said one of his friends who's run this event before brought it up to him, and, you know, it piqued his interest, as if it was something that he was interested in doing. You didn't have to do this, man. So he signed up and everything. The idea of running 7 marathons, 7 days, 7 continents is just again, I can barely conceptualize, but I mentioned before, he's a cancer survivor, so he really does answer why he's doing this.
Raising awareness for testicular cancer, which I'm a survivor of, and really trying to inspire others what's possible and being willing to risk perhaps more than we set limits on ourselves sometimes. So that's what really motivated me to do it, was to say, hey, this is a true physical challenge, but it's also a vehicle, I think, to share some awareness about testicular cancer, which occurs in 1 in 250 men lifetime risk, which is quite higher than I thought it would be. As a physician, I thought that can't be right. 1 in 250 seems very prevalent.
Yeah.
And it's because men don't talk about their health.
That is a crazy number, too, by the way.
And so true also about how men sometimes struggle to talk about their health.
Listen, fellas, Movember is over, but that does not mean we got to not talk about what's going on, okay? Just keep that top of mind. What's really cool, too, is he's documenting this journey on Instagram at @TClarkGamblin, Gamblin. So you can follow throughout the week. The race starts at the end of January. And like I said, Dr. Gamblin running for the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation. You heard it talk about that. Statistics, again, just something that we need to keep top of mind, especially the fellas. Okay, 7 continents. Let's talk strategy here.
Yes.
We're beginning in Antarctica, which I thought was the most interesting point. I asked him if it's more preferred that he get Antarctica out of the way because it's so unpredictable, or if he'd rather start warm, but it turns out there's actually strategy behind starting in Antarctica.
The weather is dicey in Antarctica, and so that's the reason to put it first. So we're all going to meet in Cape Town. We'll get on a plane together, all 62 runners, and we will fly into Antarctica. And when we start that marathon, they will start the clock, the 168 hours we will have to complete the 7 marathons. But the weather is the variable that really means Antarctica should be first.
Yeah, so it's crazy. 168 hours. Once they start, they can't stop the clock.
Right, you can't pause it.
Hence the challenge, that cute word that we threw around for something like this. 60 hours on the plane. I had to ask him. I was like, all right. I mean, you're assuming that you kind of rest on the plane. I had to ask him, what if there's that overly enthusiastic passenger? I'm just waiting for that one runner who thinks that, time to be up. What are we doing here? You know, the overly enthusiastic one.
They may be a little outnumbered, so they'll have to be careful now.
So we're all on the same page. All right, honestly, so I know I'm running out of time, but there's so much in this interview that I could not cover. So what I did is I posted the whole uncensored interview from start to finish. No editing, no dressing up, nothing. And you can hear it. All you have to do is text PANCAKE to the WTMJ Talking text line, 855-616-1620, and you get the whole interview. Text PANCAKE. Just an incredible character, this guy, and his mission is great,
awesome.
and just such an awesome thing. So I had to ask him one. You know what? You can get the tease. I asked him one question of what his drink would be, and I have a good joke in there. So, yeah, there's your tease.
Hey, can I throw? Is this a curveball? Would you be able to answer this? Do you know his list in order of continents?
I do. So here's we go. It goes Antarctica into Cape Town, South Africa. That's Perth, Australia. It's summer on the southern hemisphere, by the way, you guys. Dubai, Madrid, somewhere in South America, Fortaleza.
Okay.
Apologies. And then Miami is where it ends up.
It ends up in Miami.
Crazy
Right.
stuff.
Thank you, Greg. Your pancake breakfast special at 8:50. Debbie Lozga's husband is a big runner. He's never done this, though.
He has not. He's still working on doing a half marathon in every state.
See, that's still pretty cool, too.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're still
anyway.
working on that.
There's
He's
also a
still,
challenge.
we're hopefully going to finish off with Alaska and then Hawaii, baby.
Ooh,
so, yeah.
Very nice.
Right now, we got a pretty good ride shaping up around the area. Really not seeing any incidents or delays, just a couple broken down vehicles here and there near the Marquette, but nothing majorly affecting your ride. So just be careful. We do have this other issue in Sheboygan, though, on just north of Highway 28 on northbound 43. We got the 2 right lanes blocked with a crash just as you're heading into Sheboygan proper. So just be careful. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Hey, Debbie, before we go, I want to remind everyone there's a huge anniversary tomorrow.
Huge!
And by huge, I mean it's an anniversary of a very iconic moment in the history of the world. We will recognize that next.
Yes.
If you missed this...
Many people believe that 1967 was the most violent year in Vietnam. The Tet Offensive happened in 1967. Were you part of the build-up to that?
I was part of it. We had no idea, what they were going to do.
Or this.
President and CEO of Special Olympics Wisconsin, Chad Hirschner, joins us live in studio. How many of our athletes are wearing the wrong size?
Too many.
A lot.
You know, it's like,
you wouldn't believe it,
I had
John.
no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Wisconsin's Afternoon News, the podcast.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Add more joy to your holiday season and drive with confidence this winter in a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Or explore the peace of mind benefits of a GM-certified pre-owned model. Holiday's year-end sale is the destination to get more vehicle for your buck, score the season's best offers, and get more for your trade. And that's on top of Holiday's low closeout price on remaining new 2024s. Speaking as a longtime loyal fan, I know you'll appreciate Team Holiday's relaxed, pressure-free way of doing things, the transparent, simplified buying approach, family atmosphere, and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Put Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer on your side and navigate today's car market confidently. Accolades are per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone Sales Records. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Easttown Jewelers in Mequon is closing its doors after 40 years. Savings up to 70% on everything. Easttown Jewelers has a great selection of diamond rings and earrings, pendants, gold and silver jewelry, colored gemstone rings, and Mary's custom designs, and much more. Looking to get the perfect gift for someone special this holiday season? You've got to check them out. Store hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Doors will be closed forever. So don't delay. That's Easttown Jewelers in Mequon.
If you're seeking Lake Country's finest, don't miss out on the Westerly opening this spring. Whether it's active fitness, enjoying a swim in the indoor pool, improving your handicap using our golf simulator, or hosting guests on our rooftop patio, the Westerly has you covered. Providing seniors with award-winning residences throughout Wisconsin, this locally owned and operated company is engaged and offers unmatched services. Apartment reservations are booking quickly. Call Stacy at 262-737-5501 or visit livingwesterly.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Your WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Some morning sun today, clouds later this afternoon, a high of 30. Partly cloudy tonight, 26, cloudy, 43 for your Saturday, 19 and partly cloudy right now in Milwaukee at 8:54.
Before we head out of here and head to the Political Power Hour, Kristen Bry is in for Steve. I wanted to bring this back. So tomorrow is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. It's been 83 years now since the Pearl Harbor attacks. And one of my favorite moments of the Memorial Day parade that I'd always go to in the falls over the past 20 years was always when the Pearl Harbor survivors rolled through wearing their shirts. And just it always gave me chills. Just everyone would stand up and just cheer for these guys. And over the years, that group would get smaller and smaller because it's been 83 years now since that day. And over the years, I know John, some of this audio is from John Mercure as well and myself. We would collect comments and commentary about what happened that day from those survivors from Wisconsin. None of the ones in this piece are here anymore, but I wanted to play for you what they told us when we asked them about Pearl Harbor and the attack.
That morning I was on guard duty out on the ramp among the airplanes.
I was in an aircraft instrument repair shop.
I was a messenger that morning. And, I was delivering a message up to the skipper's office, and we heard this plane coming in.
I witnessed the torpedo bombers flying down the mountain range headed into Pearl. The first airplane peeled off and down, and we're watching it, and then this rack swung away. And I witnessed the first bombs hitting American soil.
And I saw the meatball on the side of the plane. I knew it was Japanese.
When the bombing started, we were in the barracks. And we come outside, and they were strafing, and a couple of our guys were killed in the back for strafing.
Heard all these airplanes, so I went out to see what the heck was going on. And see all these planes going over, and then start diving down, coming down across the field. 2 bombs dropped into the hangar across the street from me. Debris went flying into the air.
Torpedo hit the cruiser, went under our ship, and with concussion broke the seams open in our ship.
We was on the opposite side of the island, and when she blew up, I think they heard that explosion in Nebraska where I joined the Navy.
We started taking on water, it went on its side, and we had abandoned ship about 9:30.
I saw this plane coming right straight at me, guns blazing, so there was a little wall about 2 feet high, and I laid right in that crack between the sidewalk and that little wall. And the bullets came over the top of my shoulder, over there just in a stream. I could hear them hitting there and then bouncing off the sidewalk, just streaks of bullets.
The second bomb that was dropped hit the barracks that I'd have been in if I wasn't on guard duty.
That was the bomb that killed one of our squadron guys. It was between the 2 barracks. So he was in the back washing his car when that bomb hit and killed him.
I finally did get off and went back to the instrument shop. It was all shot up.
It was a pretty tough day.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
I don't think anybody really got scared.
I wasn't scared at all. Didn't have time, you had to do your job.
I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost.
I do remember them every Memorial Day and stuff like that. Gets through you a little bit.
It's very important to remember that day. It's a very important day. It should never be forgotten.
No matter how long it may take us, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Drug maker Eli Lilly and Company plans to invest $3 billion and add 750 employees in Kenosha County as the company expands a plant it acquired in April. The Indianapolis-based company expects to start the expansion project in 2025. GE Healthcare Technologies, which has major operations in Waukesha and Milwaukee counties, aims to grow development of artificial intelligence devices. Its goal is to optimize patient care and increase operational efficiencies at hospitals and clinics. Marcus Hotels and Resorts looks ahead to a more than $40 million renovation of its Hilton-branded hotel in downtown Milwaukee. The work will remove 175 of the hotel's 729 rooms. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Craft your Brewers mini plan for the 2025 season, featuring all new 6-packs and 12-packs. Get in on the action with great ticket rates, marquee matchups, and priority seating. Plus, you'll get a limited edition Brewers Crowler with each 12-pack or pair of 6-packs. Looking to customize your games to fit your schedule? Build your own ticket plan options are also available